wigs. Maybe that's an irresponsible wig purchase. It's a large wig purchase. In order to make sure the people who don't get the Bobby haircut from the barbers that will be on site starting at 10:30 at least have other options. And as we've mentioned, you can get that haircut right at 10:30 and pop on over for the Bobby Witt Jr. lookalike contest with mystery prizes.
How are you getting your wig, by the way?
My wig's not on right now.
That's what it is. I'm like, how does his look so clean underneath the hat? And I'm like, mine is poofing out sideways and all this stuff.
I hadn't figured out, I hadn't messed with the wig yet because we've been having some internet issues in the building. I wasn't sure if it was, if it was going to be working.
Because mine's all over the place right now.
Yours is looking a little like kind of how the kids wear it now, like where they joke about that every teenage boy looked like an alpaca for a while there. You got a little bit of the front flip.
There's a lot of lettuce. A lot of lettuce. Here, man.
It's looking a bit intense there on the front end. But you know what? Pretty good. And we'll talk more about Bobby here in a little bit. But yeah, we're really excited. We'll see you guys out there on Sunday. Everything starts up at 10:30. The free haircuts. The Bobby Witt Jr. lookalike contest will be a little bit later on in that same time frame. But like you said, we'll be outside of gate B for Bobby. Make it nice and easy for everyone to come out and find us. Me, Gold, Drew, we'll all be out there. Maybe we'll convince somebody else from the station to come out. I don't know. Maybe Speck will come out. Maybe we'll get Kramer from, we'll get other people in the building. We need all the support we can get is the point. The Whittisons need to grow now.
Yeah, haircuts. And if you maybe don't have the hairstyle to get the mullet actually cut, there will be wigs. We'll narrow this thing down, I think, like a top 30 or so. Top 30, and we'll continue to narrow it down eventually to a top, 3, top 5, and we'll make a decision, maybe with Bobby's help. Who knows? Come Sunday morning as well.
We're still trying to I'd like Bobby's help. I actually think that's the most fun way to do it. Let's get Bobby involved and see if he has an opinion on who the best version of Bobby Witt Jr. is. Maybe you'll have a chance to win, Gold. I want to see how you look with this goatee.
Yeah, I'm gonna I gotta get to Sunday. By the time we get to Sunday, this is day 3. So by the time I get to Sunday, we'll have a little bit of a stash and we'll have a little bit of a goatee. It's not going to be as thick as it could have been if I didn't screw up and not shave this past weekend. I should.
Why'd you shave? Holiday weekend. What a weird time to shave.
Saturday was just time. Set myself up for the work week, everything like that. I wasn't thinking about the fact that for the Bobby lookalike contest, which you and I are not eligible to win anyway.
Not to my understanding. That would seem really weird seeing how we're voting. If you're like, I have thought about it and I've decided to vote for myself. That's right. Best Bobby Witt Jr. lookalike. Plus, there was somebody we sent out a video announcing the Whittisons last night, and there was one commenter. Drew, did you see this? There was one commenter on the video that we sent out of the Whittisons said, I don't know, but Gold kind of fine as hell. That's what it said.
I saw it because Dusty retweeted it. I did see that.
Somebody else sent it to me. Did you reach out?
No, I did not reach out. Let me find the tweet. Here was the tweet. Here it is from is Sniper 820 on X.
Okay.
It says, "Listen, I'm all for this. This was a response to the video.
I appreciate that she likes the Whittisons.
I'm just wondering, ... why is Gold kind of fine though?"
Dang! Hang on a second. Oh, hold on.
Was she not expecting you to be fine based on listening to this show another time?
Yeah,
it was like a surprise.
Maybe
to her?
Shocked to see what we look like.
Let me go. I'm going to the comment section. I'm trying to.
Now, I'm about to embarrass this person. The Twitter account says, "I'm a mom.
You could be.
I like sports. I'm sarcastic. I'm a certified psycho."
Which part of this is the least interesting to you?
Maybe the last part. Maybe the last part.
A little bit of a psycho?
Maybe the last part. But shout out to Miss Sniper. Appreciate the love.
Yeah. She did say you're fine. Take the compliment,
I will. Then she did respond back because I guess Dusty retweeted it. Somebody quote tweeted from the station or something and she said, LMAO definitely didn't think you guys would acknowledge this. Well, you tweet at us, we might bring up any tweets you send us, we might bring up on the air.
It's the same as sending us a text or interacting with us in the video chat.
That's right.
Yesterday's game was fun. Royals have won 2 in a row, 3 or 4, right?
That's the
Little
thing.
Juice.
They now it's strung together 5 games where I think the offense has looked like what we saw a majority of last season.
Yeah.
And it's no secret why that's the case because Bobby's hitting. Salvador Perez has had a nice start to July. Vinny keeps doing what he's done for every month but the first month of the season. Bobby's doing it now probably since the middle of June or so in terms of getting hot at the plate. So your 3 best hitters, your 3 most impactful hitters that you knew going into the season, that would have to be part of this offense. Well, during this 5-game, maybe 6-game, if we're being fair, stretch, they're hitting, and suddenly the offense looks better. I mean, it's not that
and the pitching
complicated.
has continued to look good.
Yeah,
like Noah Cameron
Noah
had
Cameron.
another. He's having an excellent rookie
good
year.
for him, man.
Probably undersold a little bit rookie year. I'm like, what kind of career should I be anticipating at him?
Yeah, I think there's still probably, we can have that conversation at some point if you want. I mean, last night was his first game with 7 innings pitched, so congrats to him.
Good strikeout numbers.
He's been awesome, completely out of nowhere what he's doing. I think there's still like long-term questions. Is this what he's going to be? That's a different conversation, but enjoy this and deserves all the props in the world for what he's been able to put together this year.
But yeah, like when I look at the offense, you're right. It is closer to what we were used to saying last year. It's not a world beater offense every night. When you hit some homers, sure, you're going to put up some big runs, right? When Bobby, Vinny, Salvi, and Nick Lofton all go deep in a single game, Royals are going to win that game 99.9% of the time with this pitching staff. They just are, just based on the way that they've played up to this point. It's still going to take some time for, I think, the fan base to be like, oh, yeah, they're good. They're 5 games back of a wild card spot still. All of a sudden, the Yankees don't even lead in the AL East. You know, like the Blue Jays now have that by 2.5 games because they've won 9 games in a row. So you're chasing 3 wild card teams that are all with a very similar record right now. But you're 5.5, 6 games back of those teams. So, like, until this winning streak and this offense rolls for a little bit, I don't want to get too up or down. I know we're going to talk about Cags here in the noon hour, but that's still the missing element of let's go to another level. Because it's fine. You can operate with Bobby, Salvi, and Vinny hitting together. That was the offense last year. Maybe they relied too much on those 3, but it worked for 162 games last year, or at least 130 until Vinny got hurt in September, and then they really struggled offensively for a little bit. But if you got Cags going at any point, then you start looking like formidable in some games versus we're just back to like kind of praying the 3 guys kind of make up a huge chunk of the offense, you know?
Yeah, it's that, you know, as you said, Kagglelion, obviously where he's at right now is not in a spot to at this point in time help the group of 3 that you're referencing based on how he is hitting. But this is where I think the argument would be for those in the Royals organization of why you go out and try to find a bat still that helps you this year and, of course, beyond this year. Because if you're convinced, and I'm not yet, it's 5 games, but if they were to do this for a full week, those 3 hitters for another week, and some of them have been doing it for more than a week, but this is the first time all year for a 5 or 6 game stretch where all 3 have been able to hit like this, Salvi, Bobby, and Vinny. If they do that the rest of this homestand, so a couple more against the Pirates, obviously, and then the rest of the homestand, and we're sitting here next Monday, and the offense is hitting like this. One, they're going to win quite a few games this week.
Yeah.
The other part, it'll
Agreed.
be more reason to go and get a name. I don't know if it necessarily is Brian Reynolds, okay, but
just a name.
Go get a name that can help your lineup, and then see what happens. But I'll still stick with where we're at on the trade stuff. You know, it is about pieces that can help you beyond 2025 as well. It cannot be Reynolds. I just don't think that makes any sense. It's nice to see that this grouping, though, for the last 5 or 6 weeks has been hitting.
I will say this is what J.J. Piccolo had to say about it yesterday, talking about that
Games,
2026 part of it, Gold, where he's like, hey, that's not the way we're pushing. We're still looking for this year.
Well, our messaging, whether it's through me or through Q, that this is all about believing in this team and believing who we have on the field, knowing what they're capable of doing. We want this team to achieve. We want to continue to build on what we did, the groundwork that was laid last year. So that, you know, winning on a consistent basis, there's something to be said for that as well. We're far from a team that's looking to rebuild. We got some really key pieces here, and we want to maintain and build upon what we're doing. And to continue to have that winning culture, winning attitude is a big part of that. So the message that I've shared with the players I've spoken to is we're pushing forward. We're not looking to 26. We're pushing forward.
And I guess that, like, I understand that, like, pushing forward in the sense of this, but I will say, I don't know if anyone's just talking about, like, a rebuild. Like, no one that I'm talking to is like, let's rebuild. It's just more like, you have all the core pieces still. None of that has fundamentally changed, but if this becomes a lost year, and I don't think it's a completely lost one yet, but if it becomes that for you guys too, the way some fans think you're not maybe a playoff team, well, then when you're buying players, don't just buy for 2025. Buy for 2025 that also helps you in 2026. Nobody thinks this team needs to just tear down and restart. I don't. You don't. I don't assume.
No.
Not with Bobby, Vinny. Not with some of the pieces they have that are young and in control and all of the things outside of it. I just wouldn't do that. Yeah, I wouldn't be anywhere close to that.
And that's
right
where it gets like everybody has a different definition of what buying and what selling looks like. And, you know, you can be some teams, if they're selling off, it is for a rebuild. Some ways you can sell off some pieces that just don't have any control left. And then you're buying pieces that, of course, have more years of control. So then you're obviously not rebuilding entirely in that scenario. There's some other organizations, and we'll see it over the next couple of weeks in baseball, that are very clearly shifting towards a rebuild. You know, I'm not saying the success will be the same, but, you know, if you're looking for that optimistic view of it, you saw the Tigers last year sell/buy, and then they got hot, and then now they're the best team in baseball. A lot of things have gone right for them this year, including, you know, Javier Baez rolling back the clock a little bit, and not to mention they got the best pitcher in all of baseball in their rotation. As great as the Royals' rotation is, you know, Skubal is as good of a pitcher in baseball right now. It's just him and Skeens. That's it. Those are the only two guys that are pitching.
Yeah. I still think the Tigers
level.
are the best team in baseball, but we've long since written off the division. Good news is on that one, that's not the team you're chasing. Funny enough, as of yesterday, they were a half game back of second place in the American League Central. That's how far back the Central has fallen. I don't know if the second place team won or lost last night.
Well, the Guardians have lost 10 in a row, or 11 in a row, something like that. So the Royals have jumped them.
They've already jumped them, and the White Sox, they've been ahead of the entire time.
The
but they were only a
haven't
half
played
game
well.
back of the Twins going into the game last night. And I'm not saying, like, you finish second place in the division. That only means so much if your team it is. And yes, as of today, based on winning percentages, the Royals are tied for second place in the AL Central all of a sudden at 44 and 48. But yeah, it's got to come with a lot more wins over the next couple of weeks. But the idea of getting the first, this is like different than the Seattle series last week. Get the first one so that you may be able to win 4 of 6, 5 of 7 during these homes. You know, like, try to put it so that, like, heading into the All-Star game, this could be a huge stretch for Kansas City. Go to the All-Star game where you feel good about yourself, and JJ's got a week to think about the players he might try to add for you. If you're a player on the team, that's exactly how you should be thinking about it.
Coming up in about 15 minutes or so, we'll talk more about Trey Smith. We're now a week out from the deadline to get a long-term deal done with Trey Smith. Obviously, he signed the franchise tag, but we'll talk more about where things stand there and what it could also be holding up in terms of other contracts in the Chiefs organization, I should say. That's coming up in a bit. Thinking of the Chiefs and the Royals, though, we know we are now in the month of July. We're a week into it, and there still seems to be no clarity whatsoever on where the Chiefs and or Royals are going to play beyond 2030, 2031. And are they both staying in Jackson County? Are they both staying in Missouri? Is one going to Kansas? Whatever it's going to be. And then yesterday, Mark Donovan, they were holding a press conference about a separate event. So Nebraska and Cincinnati are playing a big college football game in August at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
And I believe they announced the title sponsor for the game. Okay, so they had this nice press conference, whatever. And, of course, towards the end, Mark Donovan was made available to members of the media. And one of the questions he was asked at the very end, I think, was the most interesting question and answer of the entire media availability. And it was about the scenario of what happens if a vote were to fail. And in that same media scrum, Mark Donovan acknowledged that April is what they're shooting for a vote. So if they're going to go down the renovation path of Arrowhead, that requires in Jackson County a public vote. We know this by now. And that is going to have to be something that exists. And there was some thought, like maybe they just try to get on the November ballot.
Yeah, that was
Mark Donovan made it seem like April. Okay? So let's start there, and then we'll get to what happens if it fails in April. But this thing's going to now be dragged out till April? Now, the timelines, now they didn't give a June and July timeline. That was the Royals, although everybody's given multiple timelines at this point in time. I believe it was Clark Hunt in September of last year that said, yeah, hopefully in the spring we'll have some answers.
It's July,
and
firmly summer.
It's definitely literally summer at this point in time.
And now they're like, well, what if it was next April?
So April ballot is now like, and I do think they're going to go for that, by the way, don't you?
I do too. And so, yeah, I think it seems fairly obvious that their motivation has been towards staying in the area. Maybe they want to do some polling or something before they make that kind of determination. And while the star bonds will exist past April, they've made, I think, the empty threat of, no, the end of 25, then we're serious. Like you just had a deadline. You extended it an entire year, and now you're setting another deadline that is 6 months past your previous deadline. No one believes you.
So
no one believes you.
Mark Donovan was asked, all right, you go to April, and the vote fails. Then what? What happens at that point in time?
I know Luke said last one, but let's say you go renovation and you can't get a timeline to get on the ballot in November, and you do it in April, and it doesn't pass. Then what?
Yeah, that'd be a tough situation for everybody involved.
So,
What's that, a threat?
well, yeah, I mean, also reality. I mean, if you and I both know this, and I think everybody listening, if we're being honest with ourselves, if they go to April for a renovation ballot measure, I don't know, it'd be a quarter-cent sales tax. I'm not sure the exact amount. Okay, let's say it's a quarter-cent sales tax extension or increase, I guess, in this case, for the renovated Arrowhead. And if it failed in Jackson County, I think we all know what has to happen at that point. I think they have to go to Kansas. Now, what you were just alluding to prior to playing that audio cut was Kansas is saying, yeah, we extended the star bonds for a year, but an arbitrary deadline is the end of this year. And that's the thing. Ty Masterson's the Kansas Senate president. He was on with Fesco and Dusty today. And they asked him about the deadline that exists and would they be willing to negotiate with the Chiefs if they went to an April ballot, it fails in Missouri, would they still be willing to basically play ball?
I think that ship's going to sail, right? Because it's complex to put something together like what we did. You know, when you have 165 people trying to make a decision, it gets pretty complicated. So I think what you have with Kansas is best deals on the table, take it or leave it.
Okay, so if this thing does fail in Missouri, that means the Chiefs could potentially be open for the world, you know?
Oh, I know. No, that's what I'm hoping that, because I think it's best for the teams to stay in the market, right? These guys are business guys. I mean, so yeah, I hope that's enough incentive for them to get on the ball. Let's go.
So this is the most interesting part of all this is I understand they want an answer. They've been doing this for a while. They want an answer, and they should want an answer. But do you and I actually believe, you're telling me, and we're just talking Chiefs right now, we'll get to Royals in a second, if the Chiefs go to an April ballot in Jackson County for a renovated Arrowhead, and it fails, you're telling me that the state of Kansas, even though they actually have extended the actual star bonds in terms of in writing is extended for another year. You're telling me because of an arbitrary deadline at the end of the year, you're going to tell the Chiefs, sorry, missed the boat. I just don't buy it, man. I just do not. I know that's what they want to push out there. I just do not buy for a second, if it fails in April in Missouri, that Kansas, when the bonds have actually been extended for a year, despite this arbitrary December 31st deadline, you're telling me they're going to say, no, tough, you know what?
No, they want them too bad.
I just don't buy it.
This goes back to the same thing where I think it is absurd to even suggest the possibility that if it failed in April, that the Chiefs would consider moving out of the area.
I agree. I'm with you.
Are we crazy? Like, no chance. Clark doesn't even want to tear down his daddy's stadium, and now he's going to move him to Portland? No.
I agree.
And not Portland. It doesn't matter the city.
I
no chance. There is no scenario on the planet in which the Chiefs ever leave the area. That's just a no. I don't care if they got voted down 10 votes in a row. I don't think they'd do that. I think they would eventually just take Kansas's money, let's say, but they're never leaving the Kansas City metro. That's crazy.
That's always been.
He doesn't even want to tear down an Arrowhead. He's going to leave.
That's always been the luxury of, while it's been annoying how long this has taken, the luxury that we have as Kansas Cityans. And I don't want to get into a whole debate about the border war in terms of specifics. I get it. If you live in Missouri, you don't want to move into Kansas. I understand. Okay, we don't need to go back down that road.
I don't want
but the point being, the benefit we have, let's just say as sports fans in Kansas City, let's just take it as a sports angle for a second only, that you have a state line. And you have the negotiating going on between both states. That is why we're not discussing the teams considering leaving or having options. It's not the same as whatever example you want to cite from the past, whether it's the Rams, whether it's the Raiders or whoever. We're actually talking about two states negotiating. And I understand in this hypothetical, this means it fails in Missouri and Jackson County, and they would be done with Missouri at that point in time. But I just don't believe for a second that the state of Kansas, who has never had one of the major four sports teams in their state, they're taking a swing for both of these teams right now. And you're telling me that because you want to force a deadline, I get it, that in April, let's say it's April 20th, and the vote fails, that you guys, who literally on paper have extended the star bonds for a year, not just till December, despite what they're saying publicly, that you're not gonna still try to get that team here. I don't believe it, man.
No, I don't either. And I guess a lot of that is just like, you got to say that because you're trying to force them to take your money before they find out if they have the other
they're trying
money.
to put pressure on the Chiefs. I understand.
I get that. I would be putting the pressure on the Chiefs to be like, hey, why don't you get on that November ballot? Well, and now I understand it's too late. They can't do the run-up that they would want to do and all the things outside of it. But no, I think if February 1st, whatever. The Chiefs were like, we'd like Kansas' money. They take it. April 15th, they take it. They take their money. They would take the team. I don't think that they would just turn them down. Maybe they have to go back and sit in a room with 160 people. Ty Masterson, by the way, that sounds like a guy I remember at Bushwood Country Club. That is like that's got such a doesn't it?
He's the Kansas Senate president. He's based he represents areas of Wichita or part of Wichita. And then
sounds like a guy.
I think people think he might run for governor at some point.
Ty Masterson at the club. That's just what it sounds like. That's all. Some people have a name that sounds like that. Cody Tapp doesn't sound like that.
No.
That sounds like Dennis the Menace. I sound like an 8-year-old villain in a cartoon book.
Yeah.
Everyone's names have a different vibe to them. His is country club. That's all. No, I don't take any of the threats seriously on either side here. The biggest question I think remaining is Mayor Q has 1,000 times claimed that they can give the Royals money without taking it to a vote. Okay, we're waiting. Like the Missouri side has offered their dough. Where's your money?
Yeah, let's switch to the Royals now.
Where's the money?
Yeah.
That's what we're asking. You can keep saying that the city where's the dough? The Missouri side has offered their cash. If you want the Royals to sit, where's the cash? That's it. That's all that's remaining in the question mark department.
Where are you guys at?
Because I think if you can't supply it, I do still think they'll go to Kansas.
Yeah, and as far as what we know now, the Chiefs renovation requires a Jackson County vote. The Royals potentially doesn't require one in Kansas, and definitely doesn't require one in Kansas. Potentially doesn't require one the downtown KC Mo site. But you're right. At some point, it's like, okay, well then where are things at this point? What's the holdup? At this point, do you believe we get an answer on either team before the end of the year? That's how far back I have to push it now. Because at one point, it seemed June and July was really realistic. And now I don't know a soul that believes we're getting an answer this month. So do we get an answer on either team's location before the end of the year? And right now, I would say it's like a 25% chance that happens.
I really think the Royals just like construct. They have to, don't they?
I think eventually you got to have a timeline. My guess is maybe we find out in October after the baseball season ends. For the Royals, it's more likely we find out the Royals clearly than the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this: Chiefs are trying to drag this. I will. And this goes back to the Chiefs' original thing. I'm not saying that they both, and we've talked about this before, like billionaire stadiums and all this other stuff. The Chiefs' whole end game just seems about like it feels more cash grabby. I don't know why. They're both trying to get the big bag of cash. I'm not trying to pretend that way, but they absolutely feel like they've got the two in a ring and they're like, box, do stuff, dance, fight for us. And it feels like the Royals are just trying to figure like this isn't only personal feeling of it, is that they are trying to like, can we make Johnson County? Like They think the money's about the same, but they're just like, can we make Johnson County work? They're just trying to decide if that's like a stadium site that they're willing to go to.
From day one, John Sherman said he wanted downtown baseball. Then it shifted to near or around downtown. And then now you're trying to figure out, can you make that work without a public vote? Because I know you and I both know this. I think everybody at this point, the Royals are not going to a public vote again. It ain't happening.
I don't think so.
So the Chiefs, it's up in the air. I think they got a much better chance of passing a Chiefs-only renovation in Jackson County than they did with the dual thing last April, which was a disaster. But I don't think it's like 100%. I mean, they're never going to be 100% in anything. But I don't even think it's I don't know what your level on a scale of 1 to 10 would be that an April ballot would pass in Missouri.
5?
I probably am like a 6 or a 7. I think Chiefs only. Then the reality sets in that you could lose both teams at that point in time, and maybe that moves the needle. But anytime you talk about a tax increase, and you're talking about, owners obviously getting money to build stadiums and all that, you always risk it. The appetite for that now is less than it ever has been. I don't know what the trickle-down effect will be if, in fact, Frank White gets kicked out of office. I think I saw yesterday that they're moving ahead with that special election.
It was unanimous.
I think they're moving ahead with the special election. I think in August, if I read that correctly.
I saw that he said it was more about the stadiums and the property tax stuff.
You want to talk about being clueless?
Disagree.
You want to talk about being clueless? I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not blaming the whole stadium stuff all on him, but like, if he really thinks he's getting recalled because he's not helping a team get a stadium, and it has nothing to do with the massive increase in property taxes that everybody else got but you,
for every constituent,
clueless. Yeah. All right, up next, let's talk about some more money dealings out there and negotiations.
Cash.
Trey Smith, Chiefs, long-term deal, deadline, about a week away. Is that going to happen? That's next.
This is Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Tune in to hear Royals insider Josh Vernier every Wednesday at 12:30.
We need to nip this in the bud. We need to nip
what in the bud?
On your home for Royals baseball, 96.5, The Fan.
Are you in need of top quality metal for your next project? Look no further than Metal by the Foot. Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, contractor, or business owner, Metal by the Foot has the perfect solution for you. Steel, aluminum, brass, and stainless. The Foot. Blue Demon Welding Supplies, filler rods, and wire. The Foot. Cronius Professional Welding Equipment, service and repairs. The Foot. Located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Go Yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game, one of the leading places to make all your sports selections, and you can play on the Missouri side in your state. Look, it's a fun app. It's super easy. Join the millions of people who've already won billions making plays over at Underdog by just downloading the app and then choosing a player who will go higher or lower than their stats. Yesterday, we joked because we launched the Whittizens. You could have gone higher than total home runs for Bobby Witt Jr. Strikeouts, total bases. You can mix and match sports as well. Playing an Underdog is as easy as that. Once your entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1 and get everything right. You could win up to 1,000 times your money. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to unlock a special offer for up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See underdogfantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Buys KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text BEAT to 231231, BEAT to 231231, BEAT to 231231.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800. With
restrictions. 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Payout via virtual prepaid card allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here. Renner Garage Door has proudly served KC for nearly 70 years. Get your free estimate today, RENNER, forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Just getting started here on a Tuesday. It's Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Coming up in about 8 minutes or so, we'll talk more about Bobby Witt Jr. Home run last night, something he will not be doing, it sounds like, at the All-Star festivities in terms of the Home Run Derby. And we'll talk more about the Whittisons and our launch of that yesterday and looking ahead to our first launch event on Sunday out at Kauffman Stadium, the Bobby Witt Jr. Lookalike Contest. Some details on that coming up in a little bit. But we are a week away from the deadline to get a long-term deal done with Trey Smith. Last week we were discussing, hey, it's the month of July. It starts to get real. Let him get past the 4th of July holiday. Now it's go time. We're in it, man. We're in it now. This is the way it works. Just to remind everybody, Trey Smith, if he wants to sign a long-term deal, if the Chiefs want to sign him to a long-term deal, and I would tend to think both would like to get that done, they have to get that done before training camp starts next week, as a matter of fact. This is not the same as talking about Trent McDuffie, who's under contract still, and they could wait till the day before the start of the season to get a deal done. They could wait till the day of to get it done. Trey Smith, they cannot have a scenario where he shows up to camp and they decide, oh, you know what? Let's do a deal August 10th. Doesn't work that way. He signed the franchise tag. So just to refresh that on if there was any confusion. But it also is like, hey, man, another reason why I want the Chiefs to get this done is it does prevent you from focusing on some other deals maybe you want to get done before the season.
Well, I guess a lot of this is, and I think we're forgetting this about the last thing that stands out from the last contract was like him sitting between his agents and kind of the negative energy around the Chris Jones deal when it didn't get done. And then the thought that maybe he, like the stuff that comes up with the player themselves. But what we're forgetting is that deal not getting done pushed a whole bunch of other deals back. Deals that they wanted to get done sooner. Deals that they would normally have got done sooner. They didn't get done as a result of that in the amount of time that you would normally anticipate. And so I just go back and I look at this. I'm like, okay, so if Trey Trey's deal doesn't get done in a week, Gold. And it's a week, I think it's like 3 p.m. or whatever the hell it is. It's a week from today. If it doesn't get done, then does that mean no Karlaftis deal, no McDuffie deal, no any of the long-term extensions you're thinking for the young players that you mentioned who could be up, they might have to delay that a year, not knowing the contract structures they need in place. If Trey is not under contract for a whole nother year, you wouldn't even be able to negotiate with him again until free agency opened again next year. They'd have that 1 week time period like they did with Chris Jones to negotiate with him freely versus everyone else getting to talk to him. But that's it. And so, look, the trade thing would be bad anyway. We could talk about that individually. For some reason, it didn't get done in a week. You and I are still optimistic it will. But if it didn't, the effect on all these other contracts is just as big, and we should be talking about it just as much.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think the only one at this point besides Trey Smith that I think can get done before the season is Trent McDuffie. And that's the only one where I actually think you should be trying to get done before the start of the season. Like Karlaftis is look, I think you're in a scenario where they're going to have a really tough decision to make with him.
I think so, too.
In the offseason or so. Whereas for Trent McDuffie, you don't let players like him walk. He is too important to me to the next the next wave of this dynasty, if you will. Fast forward 2 years from now when Kelsey is not along for the ride anymore, when Chris Jones at that point will be aging out. I'm talking 2-3 years from now. McDuffie and Mahomes, and I don't know who the third person is yet. We'll find out as time goes on. The face of the franchise kind of thing. Trent McDuffie is one of those faces, pillars, however you want to describe it. He's a player you will want to get a deal done with. And we know there's also, as you were pointing out, Cody, the longer you wait, well, then if Sauce Gardner gets a deal before that, well, the price goes up even more. So that's why, from an organizational standpoint, besides just Trey Smith, I'm with you. I think that's the player I would want to get a deal done with before the start of the season. And they can wait. They can wait till the day before the season starts if they wanted to on him. But they got to get this Trey Smith thing figured out, and this is all going to come to a head next week.
Do you take it as a good sign or a bad sign that it's crickets?
Good sign.
As in, I have not heard because I kind of agree with you, because normally you'd be like, well, I haven't heard anything. That seems like bad news. And typically, I feel like you start hearing stuff when there's a disagreement in who wants what and for what.
Yeah, they try to play the PR game.
And there's a wider gap. And so they got to start doing the court of public opinion part of it of he's being unreasonable or they're being unreasonable. And you start hearing the back and forth of, no, it's him who's not getting the deal done. Because we did start hearing that kind of stuff with Chris Jones' contract, that they were in active negotiations. The Chiefs were still optimistic they were going to get the deal done, but here are the problems. That's what we were hearing the last time around a couple of years ago. Here are the problems. And at the moment, I'm just not hearing those. Again, there were only a couple of players franchise tagged this year anyway. It was a very small number. One has already signed a long-term extension in T. Higgins. And obviously, now we're just waiting on the other two.
Yeah, I see on the text line, 913-586-7965. I saw this the last time we were talking about McDuffie. I think it's interesting in how people view the cornerback position organizationally. So let me read you this text. It said, I don't want McDuffie to go, but I would make the argument that the Chiefs tend to replace his position better than any other. And we know, and that this organization, to that texter's point, they have been willing to move on from guys like Charvarius Ward, L'Jarius Sneed, and they've drafted, and they've had success developing corners. Yeah. I don't disagree with that. I would push back on it for only one reason. I think I would hope, recognize that Trent McDuffie is nice of a player as L'Jarius Sneed was. As nice of a player as Charvarius Ward continues to be in San Francisco, Trent McDuffie is on a completely different level. He just is. We're talking about a top 3 corner in football. Sneed, very, very good final season in Kansas City. Unfortunately,
he was
now
a top 10, 15 corner in football as last year in KC.
Yeah, and then unfortunately now the need stuff is becoming a problem. That's why the Chiefs were willing to move on from him. They made the right decision. He's not, he barely played last year in Tennessee. Charvarius Ward has been a very nice corner, but he's not a shutdown top 5 corner in football. That's just not who he is. We're talking about McDuffie being in rare company. He's one of those special corners in the league. So I agree with you that they have been able to kind of cycle through corners and make it work. And that's a credit to Spags. It's a credit to their development and scouting. All that's true. But McDuffie's different.
He's the exception to the rule, not the rest of it, where I've been happy to let those guys go. None of us were all that upset at the L'Jarius Sneed trade. And this isn't sunk cost. It's kind of the opposite. You also have a lot more invested in Trent McDuffie. He's a part. You had to give up a star-level wide receiver in order to get the selections, in order to make them. You then traded up, and he's lived up to every bit of the hype of the resources you put into it. You got a lot of resources put into Trent McDuffie. A lot. And there's no reason not to put more into it if you're getting the return on the resources you've allocated, which to this point you definitely are. To me, he's the pillar of the defense post Chris Jones. I don't know. They're still going to need pass rush help and all these other things, but at least you'll still have a defensive pillar when Chris Jones eventually is out of league, retires, whatever, a couple of years from now when it's harder for him to be the dominant force that he's been in his NFL career. At least you have the passing of the torch to another guy on defense who carries the freight for everyone. I think the biggest issues people often have with a guy like Trent McDuffie is they want their elite level corners to be like Deion Sanders with the ball.
Hawks.
Yeah.
And that's not who he is.
They want them to put the ball in the hand. But what you're not appreciating is when you take away an entire side of the football, how much easier that makes Steve Spagnuolo's job. He's already great at his job. But if you just say, they're not going to throw over there, do you know how much flexibility that gives them defensively to just do whatever the hell they want? There's a reason why they've been a top defense when Trent McDuffie has been here multiple times. They've been one of the best defenses in the league. He is a huge contributing factor to that. Yeah, but that's why the Trey thing is interesting to me.
Yeah, you got to get it done.
You got to get that done, or you're waiting another year. And then how much more is McDuffie? And do we have to entertain the conversations that are the cost versus, I don't want to get into those talks. Get Trey done, get McDuffie done in training camp, and then let's just move on.
All right, Whittison's, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it here. Bobby Witt Jr. yesterday hits a home run. The Royals offense obviously looked good for the fifth straight game. Bobby is going to be an all-star, as we said yesterday. Part of the reason why we launched the Whittisons, though, is it's ridiculous that he hasn't been a starter in these all-star games. We need more support behind him, and we hope to see you guys out at Kauffman Stadium on Sunday. Our first event that we're doing tied to the Whittisons. We announced it yesterday. We're working now. We've got some support behind us with baseball.
Officially sanctioned.
With the Royals, officially sanctioned fan club for Bobby Witt Jr. We're going to do the look-alike contest. We'll have barbers out there. If you don't have the hair to get the mullet look and everything going, we'll have some wigs out there, and we'll still do the look-alike contest. So even if you're like, hey, I don't have long enough hair to get a haircut, no problem. You can still join us. We'll start going around 10:30 on Sunday outside Gate B, as in Bobby.
Yes, and just for those, we're going to have some swag. The people who, Whittizen swag. For the people who want to enter the Bobby Witt Jr. contest, mystery prize. I can't tell you what it is.
Yes.
It is, I think you'll like it, but it's a mystery prize or, prizes to go with it on Sunday. I don't think we're going to have any trouble getting people out there to do it. And look, I'll be honest. There were two things that stood out yesterday as it related to our Whittizen launch. One was, thanks for immediately hitting a homer, Bobby. Really, honestly, a showman. I appreciate you. Going yard in the first game after we say you need more fan support. But we had just mentioned that he's not an all-star game starter, and then now it kind of sounds like maybe he wasn't invited to the home run derby, even though he put on a pretty good show.
It was amazing last year.
I gotta say, what the hell?
It was amazing last year. I believe it was Annie Rogers who was speaking to Bobby Witt yesterday. I saw the quote from her, at least, from MLB.com. And Bobby said, he was asked, are you going to participate in the home run derby? And he said no. And then it kind of led into, basically, they didn't ask him. And I understand, you got to have some fresh blood in there and everything like that. And we now know that, Byron Buxton from the Twins is participating for the first time. We know Ronald Acuna Jr. is in it. We know Cal Raleigh is in it. We know James Wood is in it. But Bobby, it sounds like just wasn't asked. Wasn't asked to be in it. And his home run total, obviously, I'm not saying it's at the same level, but after he put on the show the way he did last year in Texas and came up, 3 feet? 3 feet short, something like that, 2 feet even. You would have thought, hey, you want to put him on a showcase there. So that's a little bit of a bummer. I think we will see Bobby Witt Jr. in a home run derby again. But that was a little disappointing. I thought there was a chance that maybe he could be one of the late additions as a home run derby guy and give him another showcase. But we're not going to see that this year, where there will not be a Royals player in the home run derby.
But another point of why we think the Whittisons is an important part of the fandom. Got a superstar in Kansas City. We should throw our support behind him. Our plan is to do a lot of these events and things that, to our understand, things that Bobby supports. We'd like to try to help him out with the things that he supports. That's the point of having a group of people that are supporting a player at this level. We're just starting it with a look-alike contest, Should it include a Whataburger gift card or something? I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying, I'm asking a question. Should it? knowing that he had that at his wedding.
Yeah.
Isn't that very relative to
He definitely
Bobby?
loves himself some Whataburger. Someone said, I didn't know Barber was a Royals fan. We will have Barbers, not Sean
Somebody
Barber.
texted that in yesterday. So wait, Barber's giving haircuts?
Yeah,
Barbers
Sean
are
Barber
giving
I don't
haircuts.
think will be giving haircuts now.
Not barbershop.
Look, I'll be honest. Maybe your kid just needs a haircut anyway, and you're like, you know what? I'll save the $30 just as long as your kid's willing to look like Bobby Witt Jr., which I'm guessing he or she is. Well, then just come get the haircut at the K on Sunday. Catch a day game and then get your haircut from a professional barber at the K. Look, we've gone at what more you want from us? Barbers, wigs, swag, prizes for the lookalike contest. We're gonna have a lot of fun out there outside of Gate B. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Bobby should be. He's included in some of the commercial work and all that stuff. I think he should still be a much bigger name in the sport. He should be the guy you're begging to do the home run derby the way they asked Pete Alonso. He should be at the top of your list every year. If he turns you down, fine. But he should be one of the first 3 people you call and request their presence at the derby if they're willing to go. I'm not saying Bobby's going to want to do it every year. He's probably not going to want to do it every year. But he should certainly be on the list of guys that you were hoping show up and do that.
If you were wondering just home run totals in the American League, and this is obviously a huge factor in this. One, you got to be an all-star, and he is, but then you got to start looking at home run totals. So Cal Raleigh, 35 home runs.
A hell of a year.
Obviously, no brainer. Aaron Judge is not in it, but just if you're wondering leaders, Aaron Judge, 33 home runs. Byron Buxton, as I just said, he's got 20. He's got the 5th most in the American League. He's also an all-star for the 2nd time, so he's in it. And then who did I say was the other American League representative? Right now, is it only Cal Raleigh and Buxton on the AL side? We have Acuna Jr., James Wood. Who's the other American League home run derby guys? Cal Raleigh and Byron Buxton. Is it just 2 and 2? Isn't there? I thought it was 3 and 3 or 4 and 4. I thought there was 4 guys that did it. Am I off? How many guys did the home run derby last year? Who am I missing?
Have they not determined the other?
They might not.
Maybe they haven't fit. But again, we already know Bobby's not one of them. Now he's 28th in the American League in fairness in home runs right now. With 13, although it's so funny, like if you get 3 more, you're all of a sudden top 15 in the American League.
July's in typically a pretty good month for Bobby too, historically. So that would go with it. Those are the only ones I'm seeing.
I don't know who else is going to be in it for the American League.
Apparently not Bobby Witt Jr.
Not and Judge said no. Do we know?
Probably doesn't seem like something he would do. Right?
Somebody on the Tigers. You feel like is Riley Green an all-star? Because he's got the 3rd most home runs in the American League, and the Tigers obviously are the best team in baseball. It seems like why wouldn't the Tigers have a representative in the Derby?
I understand that they want to celebrate because it's All-Star Weekend. Do you know why is that just something that why they don't include people who are not All-Stars? For instance, like if Riley Green's not an All-Star, he's got the 3rd most homers. Why would you not have him in the Derby?
Because it's All-Star Weekend.
I guess I don't think you should have to be an All-Star to play in the home run derby.
Because it's the same thing like with the dunk contest. Those guys were not All-Stars.
But
so
you don't want to.
But
but here's the thing. You also don't want to become the dunk contest where it's like, who? Never even heard of this dude because he's in the G League right now.
But I think the dunk
you
contest...
don't want to be that either.
But the dunk contest isn't bad because of the names in it. It's the dunk contest is bad because everybody's missing the dunks. And,
I
everything
disagree.
Like that.
Riley Green is an all-star.
He is an all-star, so he should be. I disagree, Drew, as like a casual NBA fan. I think the issue with the dunk contest is I want to see Giannis and LeBron dunk. I don't care about G League guy doing cool dunks.
But if the dunks are made and it's a cool thing, I don't think it matters.
I want big name
gotta
players
have
doing
names.
cool dunks.
I gotta have names.
I would take less cool dunks with bigger names. I just would. Like it makes more sense from just like an entertainment perspective. They got a pretty good class here for the home run derby, and they've been able to still recruit stars, right? We've seen guys like Bryce Harper, like Bobby Witt Jr. We've seen the biggest names in the sport.
Would you consider anybody other than Acuna? Like I know Cal Raleigh's the best hitting catcher in baseball right now, but is Acuna the only one that's like, okay, I know who that is, and I don't pay attention to baseball that much for that person, whoever that may be. Like they hear James Wood, who the hell is that? You know, I think that's what some people might think along the same lines of the dunk contest, where it's like, I don't know who that person is, but good for them.
I think Cal Raleigh, they're just playing the hot hand. It's like putting Josh Hamilton.
But James Wood is an actual all-star, though. See, that's the other thing. It's like he's having a season which puts him on the all-star team.
Yeah, which again, it meets that qualification, if you will. I just found it interesting.
Yeah, no,
you wouldn't
I
include
hear you.
somebody like somebody else who's hit a lot of homers but is not an all-star for whatever reason.
But they don't get a single star to the dunk contest anymore. They don't even get like a. They don't get a single all-star to do it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like in baseball this year, just looking at home run totals in America. It'd be like, you know, Joe Adell, okay? Be like
There
Joe
you
Adell
go.
because he has
There
the
you
8th
go.
most homers in the American League. All of a sudden, he's in there.
He'd be like him, yeah.
Joe
exactly.
Adell was once a top prospect, okay? But and most fans probably don't know who the hell he is. You
Him
know?
being in that, I think would be I think that would be a good example. Anyways,
Yeah.
Someone was asking about when's Vinny going to do it. Again, he's got to be an all-star. Got to be an all-star. Maybe one of these years he'll get there. It's tough. First base and DH, very competitive. Very, very
Yeah.
competitive. It's a tough spot to get in. You think about who's occupying. Now, this year, your DH is Ryan O'Hearn. But you take a look at some of the numbers some of those guys have put up. It's just a really tough spot to be in position-wise.
Like the fact
Ryan
that if
O'Hearn
it's-
only has 11 home runs, but he's hitting, what is it, like 287 or something? Yeah, he's in 287.
Like, I was just looking at the slam dunk again. Mac McClung has won it
Yeah,
3 years in
yeah.
a row.
That's the G League guy.
This is the name of the participants in last year's. Mac McClung, Stefan Castle, Matis Bucelis, and Andre Jackson Jr. Nobody's heard of a single one of those.
If you're a casual fan, you have if you're a casual fan, you have no idea who those guys are. 100%.
They're not even like 6 man of the year level quality of players.
This
like
past
you can't
season
let
was
the Derby
better,
turn
but
into
yes,
that.
in terms of you having to go to Mac McClung, who's in the G League and he's out dunking everybody, it's not a great look, if you will.
It's too bad they never got LeBron in one.
That's because he didn't want it.
Well, yeah.
that to me, I think is egregious. I will say that, but it's the same reason why Zion won't do it or John Morant won't do it. I mean, you can just.
But but once he said no, then it made everybody else can
Correct.
easily say no.
Yeah, exactly.
That was what sucked about him not doing it. It truly set up where now if LeBron said no, well then I can say then Giannis doesn't feel bad for saying no.
It didn't make them want MJ doing it made other people want
Yes.
to do it. Where I
100%.
think that's a good comp. Where LeBron doing it would encourage others. Even if it wasn't him, Derrick Rose would have been great in the dunk contest. I don't think he was ever in a dunk contest, to my knowledge. I might be wrong, but I can't remember it.
I think you might. I think you're right. I don't remember any highlights of that.
But-
Obviously, Vince Carter was the best when he was doing it.
Of course, yeah. Your
Yeah,
stars doing it encourage other stars to do it. Definitely.
Someone said
NBA
been
Hall of
watching Mac
Famers.
McClung highlights since he was in high school. Yeah,
Hey, Mac was cold, man. He is.
he went to
Very,
Texas
very
Tech,
good.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I mean,
Now-
the other guy I mentioned, Andre, I was like, I don't know who this Andre Jackson guy is. Let me look him up. He averages 3 points a game.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I
play very
mean,
much.
just
I've heard,
it was a G League
I've heard of
player.
Stephon Castle only because
Stephon
he's with the
Castle
Spurs.
was rookie of the year last year. I mean, he's
Stephon
going to be
Castle's
really good.
a name, but not superstar yet.
Matas Bazulius is going to be solid, but I mean, it's a guy that was just drafted out of international waters. Nobody knows who he was and everything like that. It's tough to pump forward somebody like that compared to Aaron Judge, Acuna, Bobby Witt, those guys.
Heck,
who are
even Pete
top
Alonso's
tier.
not doing it this year. I mean, that's Mr. Home Run Derby.
Yeah, no, totally.
And he's out. He said no.
I mean,
Man,
he's had a nice career. That's what we're still hoping Cags turns into. We got to talk some Cags.
We are going to talk about Cags' struggles at some point
It's
today.
the first time I feel like I've heard anyone in the front office, JJ yesterday, mention the fact that he believes pressing is taking place. And I mean, it's hard to argue otherwise, at least at this point. But yeah, there is part of me now that you're just like, ugh, this is kind of tough. It's kind of tough right now. But that all goes back to the same thing. Again, join us this Sunday if you want to be a part of the Whittizens. Then you can see actual star power on the field on Sunday before they head to the All-Star break. We're going to plan some other events. We'll let you know about those things. But this is the official launch. This is the kickoff, if you will, Gold, of you and I, which is why I like that you've got the hair, the sunglasses, the crown back on. I got the crown and the sunglasses on. Are you wearing these all week?
I decided I'm
Are
wearing
you
this all.
committed to 5 full days of dress like Bobby Witt Jr.?
I said that's what I'm doing, man.
As a senior Whittizen?
I said we have to today and this week is the launch week. So
Did you actually go to Quick Trip yesterday?
no,
Man, I wish.
I did not go to Quick Trip wearing this. If we did that, we would need to have like a hidden video where you guys just follow me in. Hidden camera, I mean. But no, I'm planning on wearing, like, you're not wearing the wig, man. Where's the wig?
Well, it was
So
a
what
little
are you wearing
hot
the cap
yesterday,
for?
So I went.
It's 1 week. We're
I went
inside. It's
crown
air
and
conditioned in
glasses.
here.
It was
It's
a
not
bit
the most,
itchy.
It's not the most comfortable.
It was a bit itchy.
It is a little itchy.
And I was like, I don't know if I'm doing 4 hours of the wig
We'll
today.
see if I make it till 2. I'm at least going to do it for the first 2 hours of the show today and every day throughout the week. And then, by Sunday, we'll have the stash and goatee grown out and everything like that. All right, coming up next, guys, we'll get to 11 o'clock hour, talk more about what could be the best version of a particular Chiefs player. And yesterday, someone texted us in about the second half in Royals history, or recent history at least. We dive deeper into that next.
This is Cody and Gold.
You will not decorate my balls, period. I will decorate my balls.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health. the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5, The Fan.
Doesn't matter the industry that you're looking at, sports, healthcare, construction, IT is needed everywhere. Let Centric make that your future.
Yeah, when you think about Centric and what they've been able to do for so many residents in Kansas City that are just sick of their job, their curriculum is built around the job. That means you're going to learn the tools, the systems, the skills that real companies actually use. You're not just going to get, frankly, this general education or like some theory. You're going to actually do the job throughout the program that you're going to hopefully have in as little as 4 months.
I know you know exactly what Ichiro knew. Remember what he used to say about like how hot it got in Kansas City? You don't want to be working out in that forever. Take a look. Look at our guy Russ Mondry. Talk to him over at Centric.com and figure out what a new career in IT could look like for you. Again, the KC Tech Council has said 3,000 new IT jobs could be open in Kansas City in March alone, have continued those throughout the summer. Look for those things. Go to Centric.com to find out more.
Don't let clogged drains slow you down. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in Kansas City. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Honey, in case you can't tell from the recliner, summer is here, and our house desperately needs the experts at Powell Exteriors KC for siding, windows, entry doors, beautiful decks, patio covers, roofs, and more. Get ready for the heat at powellkc.com.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040. 800-586-4040.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
The Other Place, Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Come hang out on the patio and listen to some great live music at most locations Thursday through Saturdays. Enjoy some great food and also some incredible beer specials. Make The Other Place your summer headquarters. The Other Place and theotherplace.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Hey, it's Gold, and Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million, pick 5 games against the spread each week, 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no point spread, last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere, 21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the job delivered. Large orders of lumber, doors, windows, paint, plumbing, anything the job needs, all from one partner. Get it today with same-day delivery. Get it tomorrow with next-day delivery on 50,000 plus products. Or get it on your timeline with scheduled delivery on everything from framing to flooring. It's time to get your whole job, all your jobs delivered. Ask about all our new delivery options at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
College days are back on the drive. Listen for MIZ Day on Wednesday, July 16th, starting at 2 o'clock on 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
$11 o'clock hour. It's Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the trash of the day.
Can it be what just got sent to us?
Yeah, I mean, we were given permission to play the audio. Now it needs to be bleeped.
Mm-hmm.
Drew, it doesn't have the if you want to forward that to Drew.
I'll forward it to Drew.
We were sent something from a
just
coworker.
email it to me and I'll get it.
Yeah, we were sent something from a coworker on our sister station, one of our sister stations. I'll leave it at that for now. And the video is pretty funny. And we have written permission to use it. I want to be clear before we play it in the trash of the day. We were given permission directly by that individual.
Honestly, you can't send, as a radio person, you can't send something to another radio person. Even if you hadn't said, you better tell me explicitly not to play it.
The person offered it up and said, by all means, use this on your show. Okay, we will. Especially since it has to do with the station a little bit.
Hang on, so this is a text message.
Yeah, but it's a video we need audio from.
Okay, I will...
And you're going to need to bleep it. There's two.
I can email it to you.
I think there's like two.
Emailing it would be easier to just...
Two parts that need to be bleeped.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And we'll do that for the trash.
There's a little bit of cursing. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to, remember, officially sanctioned the Whittizen. This is an above board show. We're rule followers now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, the previous 6 years, dicey. But now, we follow the rules on this show.
I will work on that.
So we're going to try not to get any FCC fines for bad language. So sit in your way, Drew. If you get it by then, otherwise we'll just do whatever trash of the day you had planned before that.
I'll focus on doing that while you guys talk about Hollywood Brown.
Yes, let's talk some Chiefs. So let's talk about what we expect from Hollywood Brown a little bit.
It's not even necessarily, I don't mean this as a official prediction of the yardage total yet. We can talk about that in a second. But the more I see kind of the structure of the offense and the players that they have available to them, knowing who they're going to throw to, I think when you look at Hollywood Brown's end of season numbers, if they're only 550 or 600 yards, I actually think that means the offense had a great year. Because I think it means they relied on him the amount I feel like they need to rely on him, not the amount that like maybe they feared they had to last year. Because the growth of Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, who I don't think is really going to miss any games this year, I can't even see any level at which he's going to ever get any of these criminal or civil cases taken care of. The amount I still think they'll throw to Travis Kelce and the running backs outside of it. I think the better version of the offense is everyone stays healthy and Hollywood Brown is a 550 to 600-yard wide receiver.
So I agree that last year, and we all know he got hurt before the season started in that preseason game, before we knew Rice was going to get hurt and everything. But because Rice went down, if you would have said Hollywood Brown was healthy, last year was his chance, Hollywood Brown, to go get the big payday, to go cash in and have that 950-plus yard season. And it didn't happen because, of course, he missed a majority of the year. Now, on paper, it looks like they're going to have Rice and Worthy in year 2. And Brown is clearly the number 3 wide receiver.
And 4 behind Kelsey.
If you take a look at most teams, who the the 4th receiving option is, that guy's probably not a 900 or 1,000-yard receiver. That guy's, I would say, in that 550 to 650 range, and you're pretty happy with that. So, yeah, I kind of tend to agree that, we can get to specific numbers, as you said, during training camp and everything. But, 600 to 700 yards max is probably what I would look at, and that'd be a really good season, actually, for Hollywood Brown in this offense, assuming Worthy and Rice are healthy. Because last year, I think, was his opportunity to kind of blow up and say, hey, fully healthy year, 1,000-yard receiver. I'm going to go get a multi-year deal somewhere else. Let's just be real. Hollywood Brown would not be on the Chiefs this season if he had a 1,000-yard season last year. He just wouldn't. He would have got a multi-year deal somewhere else. But he didn't. He unfortunately had that weird injury, and then he came back. Definitely the offense looked better, I would still say, with him on the field, no doubt, and I expect that this season. But production, I think he'll take a 600 to 700-yard season. I would lock that in right this second if I was given the option.
I think 700 just seems high. Like, if he gets to that point, I was like, if he just gets to that level, I feel like something's gone wrong in the offense. Like, they've missed a player for a stretch of time. And look, not wrong for him necessarily.
His 17-game average in his career, and this is his entire career in fairness, it's 6 years, is 858-yard season. 74 catches, 858 yards. That's his average. And that includes one 1,000-yard season, but also includes a 91-yard season last year. So I actually think that's a pretty, 17-game average across 6 years, 858. You and I are still saying it's below what his technical average of his career season is.
Sure. And again, I think that that's relative to just the players on the team more than I'm saying he has absolutely nothing left in the tank. I'm going through, I think, Cincinnati. Did Joe Burrow, he led the league in passing yardage? I'm trying to think about the team that, threw the most yards.
I think that's correct. And by the way, Hollywood Brown just turned 28, so he's still below 30.
Sure. The Jamar Chase, 1,700. T. Higgins, 900. Their third wide receiver was their tight end, like we think it'll be in Kansas City. He'll be first, second, or third in yardage, 665. And then number 4 was Yoshivas at 479. I just think the best version of the offense is he catches 1 to 2 passes a game, and they work around his skill set and getting him deep and bringing back the deep passing game as a big portion of it. Because that doesn't even speak to all the possession guys that they have, like Juju or what Jaylen Royals does or anybody outside of that or inside of those numbers. If you're saying the average, you said, what's the average total? Just at
858.
Is it?
For Hollywood Brown?
How is it that high? I mean, he's only had over 800 yards one time the year he had 1,000.
I'm just reading this. It says 17-game average. Reception 74, yards 858.
Oh, you know what? That's partially because his 17-game average is a lot better because he doesn't play 17 games very often.
Just reading the average, yeah.
No, yeah.
But that also includes, again, a season where he had 91 yards. But yes, last year, the one game, they're basing it off of what he would have had across 17.
In his career, including the 91-yard season, he averages 622 yards just a season.
Correct.
But that is obviously related to the fact that he would be injured in some of those years, not hurt. And if I take away the 91-yard season in which he just didn't play at all, his average goes up to 728, and he's a much, closer to that range.
So that's why I think 600 to 700 range is not crazy. I don't think it's a crazy
That's what I was saying.
range.
556, I actually think it means the offense is working well. 550, if he has 600 yards and he plays a full 17 games, you're like, well, that seems low. I'm like, oh, no. That means things are humming. Because otherwise, he'll end up getting more targets if things aren't going the way that they should. If Xavier, Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce aren't contributing, that's when Hollywood's numbers boost up a little bit. What's funny is this is definitely one of those, there are too many mouths to feed. Yeah. So I'm interested to see if they stay healthy, what the division of labor is in the wide receiver room.
Yeah, I don't get this text. I hope he ends up having a really nice career. It'd be great for the Chiefs. But someone texted in a second ago, 913-586-7965. Jaylen Royals is better day one than Hollywood. Based off of what? Also, different type of receiver. We're comping a completely different receiver. Jaylen Royals' comp is that eventually, if your best case scenario is that he turns into Rashee Rice or that he turns into Juju Smith-Schuster. That's the type of receiver he is. Jaylen Royals is not, like, truly from a skill set, is not Hollywood Brown or Xavier Worthy. That's not his skill set. He is a bigger-bodied wide receiver. He's closer to a Rice or Juju if you were to comp him out. I don't think that's accurate at all. I also don't think there's any way he's better than any of those three guys on day one. You want to say he's better than Juju at this point in his career? We'll see. There's a chance of that. But saying he's better than Hollywood Brown and he hasn't played a single snap in the NFL is wrong for a couple reasons. He's not even the same type of style, wide receiver.
Jaylen Royals is a little bit more of an unknown because he only had really 20 college games. That's it. He's technically played in 32, but the first season he played in 13. He played 12 games. He did not have a single catch. He was a special teams player for Utah State. He played 2 years at Utah State as a full-time player. He got hurt and only played in 7 games last year, played in 13 the year before. 20 college games. I'm not determined he's just better than Hollywood Brown. I'm not willing to go there.
That's a little disrespectful
I know I've been a little down
Brown.
on Hollywood Brown, partially because I think his inability to be on the field has been his biggest detriment consistently, more than just the skill set or outside of that. And I do wonder, like, after a time, sometimes we always pretend like if we just get and I did this for a long time, if we get a player in a better offense, those numbers are getting ready to jump. Hollywood's go through the roof. And sometimes it just doesn't pan out that way in the NFL. I'm saying what I think is a good expectation for Hollywood Brown, which would be a good sign for the offense. I will say, for the 7 games he played last year, Jaylen Royals did have 834 yards. So he was productive, certainly, in those 7 games.
If you're looking for, how does Jaylen Royals have production, it requires Rashee Rice being out. That's how, or Juju goes down for a significant period of time. But even then, Juju's the 4th receiver on this team. So really, the only way Jaylen Royals, I think, is putting up more than 200 and something yards receiving his rookie year is if Rashee Rice ends up getting suspended multiple games or is hurt for a significant chunk. That's the player that Royals get snaps over if there's injuries and stuff, or in place of, I should say, is Schuster and Rice, not if Worthy goes down.
What year was it that the Chiefs were was it 2018, the unstoppable offense?
Historically, was it post-2018, post-2017 draft? I think that's right.
Sorry, they've done so much winning.
Where they had Kareem Hunt as the back at that time.
Yeah,
yes.
Well, for a while. As you might recall, he did not make it. He did not make it through the entire season that year, although he's back with the Chiefs now, which doesn't seem weird now, but certainly seemed weird at first. I was just trying to figure out, you had mentioned you're the 4th or 5th wide receiver. Juju Smith-Schuster is the 5th at best receiving option,
but he's the 4th receiver, yes.
He's probably the 6th receiving option. So in that year in which they were the best offense on the planet, the 6th receiving option was Chris Conley, who came up with 334 yards. 5th was Kareem Hunt at 378. 6th was Demarcus Robinson at 288. You want to know where I'll put Jaylen Royals' numbers at? At best, that range. 150 yards to 300. If he has 300, I will consider this a successful season for Jaylen Royals. That's not even meant to be a knock, that he doesn't have bigger upside or more upside. The funny part is, and this goes back to the rookies, I know we'll talk more about this. We'll be in camp 2 weeks from today. We'll be up in St. Joseph, Missouri 2 weeks from today. Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy would not have put up the total counting stats they did had things gone to plan. That's the whole thing. It's things did not go to plan their rookie seasons. They ended up having to lean on Rashee Rice because everyone else stunk. Kadarius Toney, no good. Sky Moore didn't develop.
Yep. They
had no one left to throw to. Last year was injury that eventually thrust Xavier Worthy into it, but that wasn't even the plan going into it. My guess is the plan for Jaylen Royals is he's between 150 and 300 yards. You think it's
No, I agree. As I said,
barring injury.
Rice or Schuster have to miss significant games for Royals to have a real impressive statistical rookie season. It's going to be more of the developmental type of season, I believe, for Jaylen Royals. But your hope is, as time goes on, he turns into either a Rice replacement if you don't want to pay him in a couple of years, or he's just a very nice, similar type of receiver as Rice, but he's your number 3 receiver in a year from now or 2 years from now.
I did have a Royals fan. We'll get back to the Chiefs here in the Chiefs right half hour, 15 minutes from now. But I had a Royals fan yesterday be like, you know what? You should be more on board. Royals are playing some good baseball, which they are. They're playing good baseball.
Somebody texted in today, the same thing.
And then had said, this is a second half team. And I thought, is it? And so we did a little bit of research to confirm whether or not that is the case. Last year, they were not a second-half team, but that actually shouldn't surprise anybody. They lost Vinny Pasquantino for the final month of the season, and the offense cratered.
Yeah, almost cost him a playoff spot.
Yeah. It cratered the second Vinny was off the squad last year as he recovered from the thumb surgery. They were 34-31 the second half of last year. Obviously, this team finished 14 games above 500 last year, so better in the second half. They were 30-41 in 2023 second half. And you might be like, well, that can't be better. It actually was. They were very bad in the first half of 2023. Yeah. The one thing I'll say that is true about the second half of the team is they pitch better in the second half of each of the last 2 years, which sounds awesome, but also improbable based on this team. I think this is a complete unknown. I don't know if this team's going to be better in the second half or not.
Yeah, you definitely
I don't think their history is telling us anything in that department.
History doesn't say that. I would actually argue in some cases it says the opposite. Also, in 2023, you know what changed in the second half of 2023?
They called some guys.
They traded for Cole Reagans, and he immediately started pitching great. Last year in the second half, they obviously added Lucas Erceg. This year, we don't know what they're going to add in the second half. Are they trading away one of their best pitchers in the organization for the second half of this season? Does that, you know what I mean? Like if you're just
it doesn't sound like that based on the comments JJ continues to make. But
banking on the second half being better is still the same belief and optimism people and we all have had since the first week of the season, which is that, well, the offense will figure it out. That's basically like you're banking on what the offense has done the last 5 games. Bobby, Vinny, Salvi, all hitting together for the first time all year. You're banking on that being the second half. That's the only way that we're talking about this team having a drastically better second half, is that what we're seeing from the big three is what the second half is. If that happens, then this team obviously has a chance again. But I mean, sorry, 5 games doesn't mean suddenly think that the offense has figured it out. It's a great sign. I want to see them do it the rest of this week, and we can talk on Monday. And
I might need to see them do it the rest of the month.
Fair.
It's not even just, part of this is just math. They have a lot of ground to make up in that category. Like, they're just, I know they're second place in the AL Central now.
That doesn't matter.
All right, awesome.
It doesn't matter.
We're talking about wild card spots. They're not catching the first team in the AL Central. So where they end up in the AL Central is going to be at the end of this year irrelevant, because they are, 14 games behind the Detroit Tigers. I don't think they're making that up in 70. Maybe I'm a hater, but I don't think that one's going to go down, mostly because I think the Tigers are the best team in baseball or the second best team in baseball, but they're up there, certainly, at least based on that category. And so it's about the fact that they're 5 games back. They're going to have to hit like this or continue to pitch lights out. I do give them a lot of credit. The second half team, the one argument I would make for it this year, Gold, will they be a second half team? Let's eliminate you and I agree, we don't have any evidence one way or the other if they're a first half or a second half team. Too small of a sample size, too many injuries and factors that we can't consider. And like you said, they traded for Cole Reagans last year. This year, they will have, I think, Cole Reagans more or as much in the second half as they did in this previous year. And there is no indication, maybe there's no indication that the offense is going to turn it around, but there's no indication that the pitching staff's going to fall apart. There's no reason to think the pitching staff's going to I said fall apart. I didn't say take a slight regression from
Are they going to suddenly be the worst pitching staff in baseball? Of course not.
They were already worse in June than they were in April and May.
Yeah, I mean, yes, fall apart, no. Saying that the pitching staff can't continue to regress, I think that is very optimistic thinking. One, it can regress if you just simply trade away Seth Lugo. That's for obvious reasons. 2, Noah Cameron's having a great year. That I'm sorry, can still regress at any moment just based off of stuff.
God, he was so good.
I understand, and it's a great thing. But that can regress. Michael Lorenzen's coming off a great start, but that can fluctuate up and down. Also, do they trade him? And if they trade him and Lugo, who the hell is in this pitching staff in the second half of the season? I mean, honestly, who's pitching?
I mean,
maybe
all the
Reagans.
Guys that you have said forever. The only words I've heard related to the guys in the minors is the word setback. I don't think I've heard a single thing relative
Kyle
to
Wright,
Alec Marsh.
I don't know if we're ever seeing them.
I haven't heard a single word about feeling great. Now Reagan's throwing. I think the most recent report from Andy Rogers is he's getting ready to start throwing again, and that his last checkup looked good.
I'm guessing we don't. Am I way off? I don't think we see Reagan's till August 1st. Am I off on that?
No, I wouldn't. That would be probably the earliest timeline I would think.
Okay.
But he could still, because there's a whole week off for the.
No, he will be
All-Star
back
game.
this year, but I don't know if you can you can't count on Kyle Wright this year. You
I'm
can't
not counting
count on
Alec
Marsh.
Marsh.
Hunter
If they
Harvey,
trade
I think
away
he's a
Seth
bullpen guy.
Lugo, if they trade away Seth Lugo, the rotation's worse. It's just gonna. Worse.
I mean,
it just is.
Yeah.
I don't.
Can they actually afford? Truly, can they afford to trade from just putting together a rotation without saying you're completely waving the white flag? Can they trade Lugo and Lorenzen and have a rotation you can actually your rotation is then Bubic, Noah Cameron, and Reagans, and who?
Waka and Lorenzen.
Sorry, I keep forgetting about Waka.
Lorenzen.
No, but in this hypothetical, Lorenzen's gone.
Lorenzen.
Sorry, I keep forgetting Waka.
Waka's still under contract.
Yeah.
Got a couple years of Waka.
I keep forgetting Waka. Okay, so Reagans, Noah Cameron, Bubic, and Waka. So in that scenario,
four-man rotation, I guess.
Yeah, but that's also
and then whoever your best
banking,
AAA pitcher
is Reagans coming back and being the same guy?
I guess Jonathan Boland's your 5.
Yeah, probably.
Daniel Lynch got hurt, right? He's on the IL, so it's not him.
Yep.
Daniel Lynch or Jonathan Boland are your 5 in that case. And a lot of the advanced numbers don't like what Daniel Lynch are doing. So, or I don't know, some guy that I don't even know how close any of the other guys in AAA are. Kuderna, or, I don't even know.
I think he's too. I don't think he's.
I don't think he's close enough either. I'm just pointing out names of
Rich Hill, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably Rich
Dick
Hill.
Mountain.
He's more likely than all the minor leaguers I probably just listed.
Start filming the rookie too.
I will say, we both have forgot about Michael Waka multiple times when talking about the rotation. Talk about a guy who's just doing his job perfectly fine every 5 days, shows up, no complaint, that I should probably give a little bit more credit to. I'm not saying it's flashy. It's not. He's doing it like a, mid-30s dad, like he probably is. And so, he's just going about his business quietly doing his yard work. But, good for him for just consistently being one of the quality pitchers the Royals have in their rotation that I don't even worry about. He comes up to pitch, and I'm like, oh, Walk a day? That'll probably be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get too high or too low today. I'm just going to assume that'll be all right. Versus I want Reagans back pitching the way he did. I'm hoping this shutdown, because he was never right. You could tell by the way he was pitching, right? That something was wrong with his body. That's the whole thing. Is maybe
the question with that is the groin injury lead to the shoulder problems or not? Is that what led? Did that lead to eventually the shoulder injury that he's currently dealing with? All right, let's get to it.
Trash of the day.
So we were sent a video from a coworker. We were given permission.
Okay.
Given permission to play this. Drew, you have edited this, I believe. Bleeped it out?
Yes, and yes.
And he took out a little bit of personal medical information.
Yeah,
towards the end there.
That's a good idea. Yeah. So
not all of the medical information, just a little bit of the personal medical
Dana
information.
Wright has also posted this on her personal Facebook, but she texted us privately and said, feel free, use this on the air. She underwent, I can say this because she said it in the video, you'll be able to tell. She had a procedure, a colonoscopy, very important to get tested, obviously.
Oh, well, that part, you're not going to hear that part because I lowered that. When she said what was done, I didn't know.
She told,
anyways.
It's fine. For the millionth time, she gave us permission before anybody freaks out. So
when you hear that audio go down, it's definitely not a colonoscopy.
Yeah, no, she told us we could use it.
It's fine.
So anyway, just kill the vibe on. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just joking about it.
So anyway, she sent us this video, and it's the trash of the day because the video is pretty funny. Let's just play it. Let's just get right to it.
Okay, I'm out. I had one. They removed it, and then one of those out there just said they listened to 96.5 The Fan.
One of those people out there listen to 96.5 The
Why
Fan.
is this so bad? She just trying to get a colonoscopy, and a guy said he listens to the
She
best radio station in Kansas City. I don't actually see the
doctors?
issue here. It
No,
is a tough thing
it's
to
great.
hear. Sometimes it's I will say, it's this is probably a pet peeve that only it's too industry specific. If you're like, hey, what do you do for a living? I just met some new parents of my kids. Hey, what do you do for a living? You're like, I work at 96.5 The Fan. The last thing you want to be like, I listen to Dana and Parks. You're like, I didn't need all your personal listening habits. I just, I was just letting you know what I did. It would be the same as what do you do for your living? Well, I work on Ford. You're like, I'm a Chevy guy. You're like, I don't need that information. It's unimportant to the conversation. I was just asking you what your job is. I do like that. What's unclear about it is, did they just volunteer this information when they found out who she was? Just be like, I don't really listen to your show. I listen to 96.5 The Fan.
Maybe
future Whittizen.
Maybe she said you listen to the radio.
But he probably heard Dana on Fan Club. If he listens to the station, then he would know who she is? To be
Yeah,
a little
she's
bit more
come
familiar
on
then?
Fan Club a couple times.
Multiple times, yeah.
She's been on this station a couple of times. Dana found love on this station. She should love 96.5
true.
The Fan, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think she's appreciating the fact what it's done for her personal life, you know?
Have you had a colonoscopy yet?
I've not. Is that 40?
I mean, you're in your 40s now.
I was going to say,
You're in your 40s now. I feel like you're getting close.
Oh, man. Hold on,
I mean,
let me
they
see.
recommend what? 45,
the
I think.
age.
I think they recommend.
45 years old is what they recommend. Should I be getting on this early?
They recommend start screening at 40
I
if
was
you
gonna
have
say TikTok.
if you have a relative that was diagnosed with like
Colon cancer?
Yeah, if
Not that I
anybody-
know of.
Then otherwise, they say you can wait till you're 45 to get
I got
checked,
5 more
guess.
years. Maybe I'll just knock it out somewhere.
Cody's going to take a whole week off.
Call it
Dana
an
Wright said
average.
it took 8 minutes and she's back tomorrow. Cody's going to take the entire week off.
I might schedule it on a Friday, you know?
Well, there you go.
Try to slide it
Yeah.
into a weekend, if
Yeah.
you will.
There you go.
But, you know,
There you go.
you're the one who told me to get 18 surgeries. Just you wait.
Well, fix the. Well,
Oh,
at
yeah,
this point,
hang
we're
on a
sick of
second.
hearing about the super bone. We're sick of hearing about the knee. Just go get it fixed, man. Take a month off if that's what it takes to get it all
I
corrected.
was like, Cody's going on the 30-day IL.
I'm trying to be achiever of the month. I can't do that missing for all these
yeah,
surgeries.
someone said you weren't eligible because you missed too many days.
Somebody
last
said
month.
in June I couldn't be eligible because
Cody.
I can't. I gotta not be a dance dad if I want to be achiever of the month.
Cody, if you went and got surgery on 2 different things and still worked amidst the process while rehabbing, then I think if you don't win Achiever of the Award, it's never going to happen. You would
Man,
have
yeah,
to
that's
win it
tough.
then. You would have to get it.
Jay Binkley once showed up to work after the morning of getting LASIK. He got LASIK in the morning.
Yeah, that's
and then
He said
was
he didn't need to
at
see.
work
That's not recommended, by the way.
at 10 a.m. that day to do his show.
I can tell you that's not recommended
Of
because
course, it's not recommended. Nobody would
'cause
recommend that.
Because I had the same thing, and they're like, "Yeah, just take the rest of the day off. You barely can see. You can't drive. Just don't look. You don't want to stare at a computer screen right after you had a LASIK surgery."
I don't know who drove him here then. Who obliged by his request?
Man, I don't know. Somebody let him work, one way or the other. Someone's claiming from the 785 that I can, if I have no family history, I can just poop in a box and send it off to be tested.
Yeah, I've seen the commercials
Oh,
for that.
Cologuard?
Yeah, whatever that's
That
called.
thing.
They said I can just do it that way instead.
Just poop
Don't
and
tell me if there's a
that one, and not trying to discount it. I think there's depending on. I thought the whole thing with that is if it comes back like positive on that, then you still need to go in and get a colonoscopy anyway. So why wouldn't you just?
So why
go?
not just go get the colonoscopy?
That's my understanding with it. Like you have
tough.
to get it confirmed anyway. So why would you waste your time?
This is it. I'm going to get a surgery. I'm going to come back to work the same day, and then that's how I'll get Achiever of the Month. Or can I come on the... Oh, well, you don't want me drugged up on the radio. I'll say things I can't say.
I mean, it'd
know
be great content.
It would be very fun
but
content.
I don't know if we have enough of the dump button to try to keep the curse words off.
You would have to spread it out enough to not,
Yeah.
I wouldn't need you to have 5 seconds of just going nuts.
It'd be
all we
honest,
would have
dangerous.
all we would have to do is like Cody's just
mute
getting
his
off
mic.
the drugs from a procedure. We call up and we, hey Cody, just want to ask you one more time, what do you think of the Springfield road trip? And just let you go and
oh
just
my gosh.
and just
I
let
loved
you-
watching Kagglelion play, and I'm
yeah,
looking forward
same.
to him, getting a little bit better going on the bat in the major league level.
All right, that is the trash of the day. Thank you, Dana Wright. Glad to hear things are going well. All right, up next, we will get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour, talk more about a player that probably doesn't get enough credit for his time in Kansas City, and how much could the Chiefs miss him this year? That's coming up.
Watch Cody and Gold on YouTube by subscribing to the 96.5 YouTube channel. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
You're looking to build that dream deck? Look no further than All Weather Decks, the right deck at the right price. Can't tell you how easy the process was. Came over, took a look at the 4 decks outside. Let's talk projects. Some of them are a little older. What do we do about repair? What do we do about replacement? They got a great checklist, all the different materials, so many things to choose from. They got a showroom. If you want to see the actual material stuff, touch them with your hands. All that stuff is available. Wood deck, composite deck, cover decks, fire pits. It doesn't matter the outdoor project. All Weather Decks takes care of it for you. There's a reason why they're a 24-time winner of Angie's List Super Service Award and locally owned and operated. If you're looking for that new dream outdoor project, check out allweatherdecks.net or give them a call, 913-206-1974.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Hey there, Royals fans. It's Royals Hall of Famer Mike Sweeney. Have you or your kids experienced a high school coach who wants to make our Kansas City community a better place to live, work, and play? The Royals and the See You in the Major Leagues Foundation, together with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City, are shining a spotlight on 6 impactful coaches in the KC metro area. Nominate a high school coach today at royals.com/coaches with character.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ziprecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Missouri sports fans, I got great news for you. Underdog is now available to play in your state, and you can go yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. As we get ready to roll into the 4th of July holiday, the baseball action is heating up, and Underdog is a leading place to make all of your sports selections. To play, all you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose from things like home runs, total bases, and so much more. And once that entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Maybe it's time for Vinny Pasquantino to start heating up, and you love the over on his total bases this weekend. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code BOB to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit with promo code BOB. Must be 18 and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See UnderdogFantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830 and schedule your AC system tune-up for just $59. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Pour Downy in the rinse straight.
Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Allstate's new home insurance is now better than ever. We're making getting the right home insurance that's right for you super easy with our improved online quoting tool. It explains how each coverage option works for you without the headache. Yep, you can start protecting your home in a matter of minutes. So check Allstate first for home insurance that's better than ever. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Coverage subject to terms, qualifications, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling grandma for her recipe, no-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m., big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas, the ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2025 with select plans. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 7/20/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
Get one free set of Brake Best brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly.
Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get one free set of Brake Best brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
That's right. It is the Chiefs Red Half Hour. And it is brought to you by
All Weather Decks, Kansas City's most respected deck builder. Check them out at allweatherdecks.net.
Video stream.
Start texting our boss.
You're good. Video stream is up and running. During the break, we got a delivery of some of our swag that we needed. A lot of this will be available on Sunday at our first event for the Whittisons, our new fan club for Bobby Witt Jr., officially sanctioned by Major League Baseball and the Royals. The Bobby Witt Jr. lookalike contest. We now have some bumper stickers, which are now currently on my laptop if you're watching on the video stream. We have eye black that says Whittisons on it. It looks great with the glasses, man.
Let me show it all.
We have an official pin. Some that say, for us, senior Whittisons.
I might be willing to dub one more person. The winner of the Bobby Witt, I might be willing to give a senior Whittison.
And we have some that just say Whittisons.
Official Whittison fan club.
Drew, did you grab your Whittison? Did you grab your senior Whittison? We got to get Drew a senior Whittison.
Bumper stickers. Well, yeah, Drew, you are a senior Whittison. We'll make sure that
you've
got yours. I'll keep his aside there. And then, tons of eye black. So if you want to check it out on the video stream over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, you can absolutely see it there. So there's a lot. There's a lot to go in, obviously, across the board. If you want to see again on the video, we want to be able to hand you some of this stuff out at the K.
I like it.
For
Good
our
stuff.
first Whittison event, where you can get the free Bobby Witt Jr. haircut from the barbers we have on site. And then you can enter our Bobby Witt Jr. lookalike contest with mystery prizes. Ooh, what will they be? You'll have to find out.
Somebody's asking, how do they get the stickers? Yep, Sunday, 10:30, Bobby Witt Jr. lookalike contest outside Gate B at the K. That's how you can get, we'll have plenty of these bumper stickers and stickers in general.
Dude,
if you
they're
would like
good looking.
them.
It's just a good looking logo.
It is. A little gold coloring, blue background, solid. Anyway, glad we got those in just in time for Sunday's event.
Do I want to put a hole in the jersey? You think it'll matter?
Oh,
this is the
you're
jersey
fine.
Quick Trip sent me.
You can put a little pin on your jersey. That's fine. Come on. It's a tiny little.
It's a tiny
Drew
little
said it looks like the pins were at a rally or something.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
that's
you
kind
guys
of what
go
we're
to-
doing on
yeah,
Sunday,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
We are the senior Whittisons. You could be a Whittison yourself. And who doesn't want eye black and bumper stickers? It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a fun time
bumper
out there.
sticker thing is
Obviously, we'll see
awesome.
you out there on Sunday. I was thinking about a Chiefs player, just kind of individually, because I feel like you and I were on the opposite side of this, I actually believe. And I don't understand. I feel like we should at least discuss it as a possibility. Are the Chiefs going to miss Justin Reid more than we are discussing? Because the amount I will admit is being discussed by fans is 0. They don't think they'll miss him at all. Good riddance, borderline, feels to be the energy towards safety. And this same thing happened at the end of Tyrann Mathieu's era. And you and I both said, like, I don't think Tyrann Mathieu's playing as bad as you all are trying to make it seem. And that's obviously been proven true because he's pretty much been as good as Justin Reid over the last 3 years at his stay in New Orleans versus what Justin Reid has done in Kansas City. I think they're going to miss him some. I think there is going to be a learning curve for all the young safeties that they're asking to do more important things. And they didn't replace him with a veteran safety for the first time.
Yeah, and I think that's where maybe there's the confidence or belief that it doesn't really matter is because people saw Tyron walk, and then Justin Reid, to his credit, came in and played at a very high level as well. And so the thought is, well, they've replaced the safety twice before. Why can't they again?
With veterans.
But it's been with veterans, not young players. And I've said this, we both agreed last year during training camp and preseason. Jaden Hicks, he pops off your screen when you're watching. Like, he stands out. And I think he's going to be a very good player for this team. But early in the season, could there be some moments where you notice the veteran just like instinct, if you will, that's just there after playing as many snaps as Justin Reid had played and Tyron had played in their NFL career? Yeah, I think you lose a little bit of that. Who's going to take charge in that secondary? We talk about all the time, like the vocal guys, because Trent McDuffie, Justin Reid, they had some guys back there. Trent McDuffie doesn't, is he going to suddenly be the vocal guy? But who in the safety group is that going to be? Maybe it is Jaden Hicks, by the way, right? Maybe he just takes on more of a leadership role back there in year
just
2.
Just a second-year player.
But that's the
They've
thing.
been going veteran at safety. That's still what stood out to me, Gold, is that I'm not saying it can't work, but genuinely, it's the opposite of the plan that they have gone to this point. Does that mean this time they just couldn't afford a safety in free agency? Or does this mean that this time they just trust their young safety so much or like their young safety so much that they're willing to roll the dice?
Is that something where maybe the signing of Christian Fulton is, I don't know how much of a vet, if you will, presence Christian Fulton is. He's been in the league a little bit, though, where I don't know if he adds a dynamic of leadership. Jamari Connor has been involved in the offense, or involved in the defense, rather, since coming in as a rookie.
But not a single one has been the dude.
Yeah, it's going to be more, it might just be more of a collective effort in terms of everybody keeping everyone on their toes and making sure everybody's up to par.
To make sure they have a vet in that safety, that safety room, if you will. I guess it's more of a secondary room than just a safety room, but that grouping of safeties, I should say. Remember, they brought back Mike Edwards. Now, I'm not saying he's going to start or anything like that, but his presence, maybe just being able to kind of coach some of these guys up too helps. I think that's where maybe you get some of that veteran leadership, but not on the, if you're talking about just who's going to be vocal on the field, well, it's not going to be Mike Edwards. He's not going to play a ton, I don't think. But if you just say, hey, coaching him up and during training camp, who can help guys like Hicks and others, maybe Mike Edwards is somebody like that. Who, remember, they brought him back after he played with the Chiefs and the Bucs.
Yeah, I'm not saying it can't be, and they don't have, it might be Brian Cook, but I do feel like they're putting a lot on Jaden Hicks and Shamari Connor. And I do think that this goes back to why they wanted Christian Fulton, so that maybe they can move some of these safeties back to their more natural position. But I think if there's any part, and I won't worry about it for the entire season, you and I have talked about this, I think Spags does a really good job of adjusting with the talent he has at some point in the season to make it pretty good defensively, no matter what the circumstances are. But I do think that there's a chance of those hiccups on the back end with those big plays being given up. And look at the offenses they're facing in those first few weeks, right? Chargers can obviously throw it deep a little bit, at least. The Eagles have been one of the better offenses in the sport. I can't remember who they've got week 4 off the top of my head, but you get the point. These are teams that can score a little bit. I think we can have some early season, like you and I are talking September 30th and being like, they're giving a lot of big plays. I wonder why. And I think we should all remember it's because they're breaking in a bunch of young safeties into a bigger role that they have had a good veteran player in for the last 6 years straight. Right? Because it was 3 years of Matthew and 3 years of Justin Reid.
Yep.
So, the entire time Spags has been the defensive coordinator, essentially. I like the fact that he's willing to go with it and go with the corners instead. Maybe that's the McDuffie thing, too, going back to
it's him. And I also think it's probably also just their confidence in, Brian Cook and Jaden Hicks, just playing simple. Look, they drafted Jaden Hicks when they did. We all knew at the time that he was likely going to be the Justin Reid replacement. It was like that was the thought when they drafted him. Okay, well, this is a guy this is a guy that you drafted to probably replace Justin Reid one day, and that's exactly what has happened. And now it's his time to shine. Obviously, it's easy when you're a rookie and it's preseason, you pop off the screen and all that, but you're not expected to be the guy back there.
Yeah.
Now you might, although I agree with you that is probably going to be in conjunction with Brian Cook. If you're asking the two big guys in that the secondary, at least the safety group, it's Cook and Hicks. I think those will be the two guys that, of course, get the most snaps.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just questioning whether or not I think there'll be a point this year when you remember that Justin Reid isn't on the team, and instead they have gone with a group of young safeties. I think that time will be the first month of the season before Spags figures out the rotations on that end. Going back to at least the corners, though, I do think that this is where Christian Fulton, Trent McDuffie, Watson, Williams, Nazi, whoever they like, and then obviously Williams, the kid they drafted in the 3rd round. I can't remember which
Noel
one.
Williams.
Noel Williams. When they took him in the third round, I think, when I do think that that's where he contributes as well. And maybe it's more of a by committee. Maybe it is more like Drew said, like, hey, we're going to rotate guys in, and this is a fresh body approach to the safety game rather than that. But, I mean, Justin Reid was a very good safety. I don't understand why everybody in Kansas City wants to run safeties out of town, I'll say. It seems like the second that they're not under contract anymore, like, they stunk the whole time. And I didn't think that was true of Tyrann Mathieu, and I don't think that's true of Justin Reid. I thought he was a really nice player the entire time.
It goes back to what we talked about even with interceptions. I don't think people, unless you're extremely hard-hitting safety or you got a bunch of picks, people don't value the position properly, maybe is what happens. You know, corners, they look at interceptions. They understand the concept of being a shutdown corner. If you're a hard-hitting safety, if you're coming up and you're making big hits, people notice you. They view you as a better safety. If you're just a nice coverage guy that gets people in the right spots and a leader out there, people, for whatever reason, like
same thing. They want to be Ed Reed, and if he's not Ed Reed, we're not interested.
But I think that's why people act that way about the safeties in general.
Look, I mean, at least corners, we understand that they've been willing to toss them asunder. We don't actually know whether or not a non-veteran safety works in Spags' defense. He's had those guys the entire time.
True.
We don't know what it looks like when there isn't the let's get everybody in the right spot leader type guy in the back of the safety room. I have faith in Spags that it will still likely work. I just told you I think it might get off to a slow start, and you might find out, a little bit later on that part of the reason it got off to a slow start is because of the young safeties instead of Justin Reid. That's all.
Yeah, someone said safety's the offensive guard of the defense.
Yeah.
Now, do you mean that I'm curious if the texter means that as in like they don't care or that they just think they don't get respect? I'm curious which way the texter's leaning with that statement.
It's tough to say, because if you said they didn't care, wouldn't you just call them the running back of?
Well, it depends on who you are.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I'm asking, like offensive guard is an important position, but nobody really values it. Or maybe Chiefs do. They're getting ready to pay $100 million.
I was going to say, they already have a guy on a franchise tag making him the highest paid guard in football this upcoming season.
We'll talk about Trey Smith coming up again a little bit later on. 1 week from today is the franchise tag deadline to go with it. But speaking of deadlines, Kansas, oh man, they got a firm deadline now. Gold, just you wait. Just you wait. They're saying December 31st or we're out of the stadium game. I want to remind people as we talk about this, they just had a deadline, and they extended their deadline by 12 full months at worst. And even with their new deadline, like 6 full months than it was previous. So they are willing to negotiate here. I think this is just more about the Chiefs wanting to have maximum time to make their decision.
This all came to be because yesterday Mark Donovan, Chiefs team president, had a press conference where they were announcing the title sponsor for the college football game that's going to be at Arrowhead in August. It's Nebraska and Cincinnati. And, of course, there was some media availability afterwards. And the stadium conversation existed there and came up. And there were some questions that I thought were interesting, including this one about what happens if the Chiefs go to an April ballot for a renovated Arrowhead. What happens then? And also, it became clear that the Chiefs are gunning for an April ballot, not a November ballot. That also became clear from that session. But here's Mark Donovan.
I know Luke said last one, but let's say you go renovation and you can't get a timeline to get on the ballot in November and you do it in April and it doesn't pass. Then what?
Yeah, that'd be a tough situation for everybody involved.
And that would be reality at that point in time, though, that you had 2 opportunities, Jackson County, at that point.
And you said no twice. You don't want them.
And you said you don't want them. Like that.
Or you don't want them if it's at your cost, not
sure.
theirs.
But that's the only way you have them, right? But that's the only way you have them. And so then you say, okay, well, then wouldn't they just go to Kansas? Well, it was interesting. The Kansas Senate President, Ty Masterson, was on with Fesco and Dusty today, and they asked him, what's the deadline? What happens if it fails in Missouri in April, if, in fact, the Royals go that route? Would you guys be willing to negotiate still?
I think that ship's going to sail, right? Because it's complex to put something together like what we did. When you have 165 people trying to make a decision, it gets pretty complicated. So I think what you have with Kansas is best deals on the table, take it or leave it.
Okay, so if this thing does fail in Missouri, that means the Chiefs could potentially be open for the world,
Oh, I know. No, that's what I'm hoping that, because I think it's best for the teams to stay in the market, right? These guys are business guys. I mean, so yeah, I hope that's enough incentive for them to get on the ball. Let's go.
I understand why the state of Kansas wants to put some pressure on the Chiefs and say, hey, we extended the star bonds, but we still have this deadline at the end of the year. I understand why they want that. They want a decision. Everybody's sick and tired of waiting around.
6 months?
But I still disagree with the notion that they would just say, well, we gave you the best deal already. You waited too long. Ty Masterson, in the same interview this morning with Bob and Dusty, said essentially like, Kansas has nothing to lose in this whole thing. And I agree with him on that. But they have nothing to lose, so you also have nothing to lose if they came back in April and it failed in Jackson County, and then it's April 25th or 20th, whatever, and they said, hey, actually, you know what? I don't know if you saw, the Jackson County thing didn't go our way. We'd love to come to Kansas. You're telling me the state of Kansas, which has nothing to lose, is going to say, well, too late, boys. Sorry. I just do not buy that, not to mention in writing, they actually extended the star bonds a full year. I understand there's an arbitrary deadline of December 31st, but they actually extended it a year. So I do not believe for a second, while they want to put the pressure on the Chiefs, I get that they would tell the Chiefs to go,
Yeah, no. Gold, we've said
I just don't buy it.
Look, here's what the thing is. It's an empty threat. It's like, we don't want, like, look, we know how bad you want them. Look, I get it. Like, in a desperate situation, you don't want to come off looking desperate. That doesn't help anybody, right? Doesn't do any good. It doesn't help you. Makes you look like you're in a weak position. But when you extended it for a whole year, and they're like, but this new deadline, now we mean it. You told me you meant the last one. If one of these teams will come to Kansas City, I guarantee you.
Or come to Kansas, yeah.
Or come to Kansas. You'll take them. You'll take them. You'll take them. You'll take them if it's 4 years from now or a decade from now or 20 years from now. So you'll certainly take them in April if that vote failed. I will say, I do not get the confidence in the vote would pass. I'm maybe 50-50 at best.
In Jackson County.
That a Jackson County Chiefs-only vote would pass. What makes the Chiefs think this would be different? I still thought, and this probably goes back to I still thought their part of the plan was worse. And I guess it would depend on if the Royals, let's say the Royals stay in Kansas City.
Yeah, it hurts their odds of passing.
Right? Significantly. Now, go to Kansas, I think it helps the Chiefs' odds quite a bit.
Yeah, because then you'd lose both teams.
Are they waiting for that? Are the Chiefs going to wait for that before they make their call?
I still think, other than, you don't want to rush to the November ballot, I think another reason why you wait till April is, you hope by then the Royals have decided what they're going to do, and the picture becomes clear of where you're at.
Yeah. I guess maybe that's what it is. It's just, and it's not even a knock. I understand that you can't. This is the same as like JJ Piccolo just declaring a trade. He's not going to come on here and be like, I'll extend it for as long as they want.
I understand.
They can have it forever. But also, like, making it seem like you're a little more firm knowing that you just adjusted this doesn't seem right. And I said it earlier, I will not understand the idea that, like, I don't even think, this is one of those, like you say, never 100%. There is a 0.00, I don't care how many decimal points you take it out, chance that the Chiefs leave the Kansas City area. Are you seriously trying to tell me that he doesn't even want to tear down Arrowhead? Right. He'll just move cities?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
There's no universe in which he moves cities.
Yeah, I understand people would argue and say, well, once Missouri, if in this hypothetical, Missouri, Jackson County voters in April said no, then Missouri's out and now your only option is Kansas. So you'd listen to other municipalities outside the region. I'm with you, Cody. I don't buy it. Why wouldn't they just take the Kansas offer? And then if your pushback is, well, Kansas is not going to accept them then. And again, that's where you and I call BS on that. And that's why it ends. If you actually could 100% tell me that Kansas had like something in legal writing that said they refused to take the Chiefs after December 31st and they refused to take them for 10 more years or something, then I will buy your scenario where that then all of a sudden.
But if you're just like, but we mean it.
Then I don't buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, I will not. I do not believe the threat of a April ballot failing means they're leaving the metro area. I'm sorry. Nobody's going to convince me of that one. Now, if they fail in April on a renovated stadium, then yeah, Kansas, of course, seems like the obvious destination. I'm just not buying that a state that has never had a major four team is going to 4 months after a arbitrary deadline is going to say, nah, you know what? Actually, all this work we put in, you know what? Yeah. Now you're ready to come to us? No, we're good, guys. Pass.
It does
I just don't believe it for 1 second.
No, I don't either. It does seem like not like a bad idea from the Chiefs to wait out what the Royals do first at this point.
Yep.
Because if they say we're going to Kansas, you're like, hell yeah. Like if you're the Chiefs, you're like, perfect. Dream scenario.
And they're the franchise that leaves the state. You're not the bad guys for leaving, air quotes.
And you got a much better chance of it passing. But what are they going to do? Spend the next 3 months polling every Jackson County resident to find out whether or not, let's call it, you said earlier, 1/4-cent sales tax as the stadium renovation plan and figuring out whether or not that does it? I don't, like.
Also, let's see what happens with the special election to recall Frank White. That's another thing to keep an eye on as well. That's not happening till August, I believe. So what, does he actually get recalled? I assume he will, but I have no idea.
Seems pretty likely at this point.
I would agree.
His popularity is probably not at an all-time high based on that. Again, I told you, he put out a statement. He says it's the stadiums that got him in trouble in this recall.
No.
Not the personal property tax issue.
I mean, that's just being completely oblivious to the situation.
Or just trying to make people forget about it?
If you think people are trying to recall you because of how you stood on the stadiums and not mainly because you raised their property taxes while not raising your own, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. No, I think it's just more like you want people who vote on this thing to be voting over the stadium thing. You'd be like, you know what? I didn't want those stadiums anyway. Keep Frank. Not about all the other issues related to it, especially the one that did it before. So, yeah, crazy.
All right, up next, we'll get to what's trending. Then we'll talk more about what the Royals offense has done the last 5 games and the latest from JJ Piccolo on what that means for the rest of this month. That's coming up here on 96.5 The Fan.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Tiger, Dragon, do you have what it takes to win? Be fierce like the tiger, strong like the dragon. Only the brave will survive.
Yeah, that's not how these games work. With Tiger and Dragon from the Kansas Lottery, you can win up to $125,000 or $100K in a second chance drawing.
You are weak.
Ouch. It's not a video game. It's better. Play Tiger and Dragon instant games from the Kansas Lottery.
Let's play.
Yeah, that works. See kslottery.com for details.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 5-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Ring the bell. We've done it again. Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875 fixed. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. Lock in this incredible 4.875 rate and get your cash in as little as 14 days. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
A recent homeowner in Kansas City was trying to sell their home, and that's when they discovered Dawn Sharp. Dawn didn't just list their home. She became their trusted guide through every decision. And the Sharp Homes team can give you options as well. If you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold, then contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Ask them about their instant offer program. You can Google them at Sharp Homes Team or just pay them a visit at homesforsaleInKC.com. Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? You need Jay's Southland Tow Service. They have over 20 years of experience servicing the KC Metro. They specialize in light, medium, and heavy duty, as well as commercial transport and construction equipment. Keep this number handy, 816-779-4600. 888-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments, Jay's Southland Tow Service. There's nothing they can't do, so be in the know and use Jay's Southland Tow.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
The best moments in life weren't meant to sit in a box, gathering dust in the attic or stuck on outdated tapes. They're meant to be seen, heard, and shared again and again.
Oh, look how little you were.
That's why Legacy Box exists, to help you preserve and relive your family's history. Imagine being able to text a video of your grandparents to your kids, or share a childhood memory with your siblings in seconds.
Wow, I haven't seen this in years.
Legacy Box makes it that easy. Just fill your Legacy Box with all your analog media. Send it to our headquarters in Tennessee, where we digitize everything by hand. And in just a few weeks, we'll send back your originals, digitized, preserved, and stored in the cloud, so you can easily stream, download, and share your memories. Anytime, anywhere. Join the millions of families that have trusted Legacy Box. Go to legacybox.com/value for 50% off. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for Chiefs football. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
What's Trending is presented by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any other university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu. Well, the Royals took game 1 of their series against the Pirates last night. Noah Cameron got to the 7th inning, pitched 7 innings for the first time in his career. Game 2 tonight at the K, 6:40 first pitch. Seth Lugo on the bump.
Looking forward to Lugo. Good. Another good game by Noah Cameron last night. Maybe talk more about him later on in the show as well, as he really, really did have a good game here in just a few minutes. Next up on What's Trending, as we'd mentioned in the Chiefs Red Half Hour, Mark Donovan says an April ballot is more likely if the Chiefs proceed with a Chiefs renovation plan that would include a tax incentive with Jackson County. Saying that is the more likely of the two scenarios than the November one we had originally thought. Cole, that does kind of push the timeline back a little bit. The question is, how much longer can they drag their feet on this?
It's crazy.
And not make some kind of decision. I don't think the Royals are going to tell us anything in July, but it feels like I can't think of how many deadlines have been blown through by teams, counties,
they don't mean
states.
anything at this point.
No, they don't. Meaningless deadlines.
Deadlines don't mean anything at this point in time. Elsewhere at What's Trending, just some college sports realignment news. Grand Canyon announced that they've been eligible now to join the Mountain West Conference a year early in all athletics, so that'll be this fall. So remember, in 2026, the Pac-12 is reforming. They're going to have Boise State, Fresno State, and some of these other schools join the conference. So the Mountain West needs some new members. Well, Grand Canyon, who's got a nice little basketball program going out there. Remember, they're a for-profit university. That's somewhat controversial, but that's what's helped their athletic program in a great way. And they're going to join the Mountain West beginning this fall.
Similar to Gonzaga, no football.
No football, though. Yeah, true.
Yeah, which I mean, look.
It's definitely a basketball conference. It's
the
definitely
Mountain
a
West.
basketball
Everyone who
conference.
isn't the SEC and the Big Ten at this point is essentially a basketball conference.
Should focus on
the
basketball.
ACC and the
Even
Big
the
12
Pac-12
obviously
is basketball.
are decent football conferences, but they're never going to be the kings of that. Why not be the kings of basketball, or at least be a competitive basketball conference? Is probably a pretty good way to go. And lastly, on What's Trending, don't forget, coming up this Sunday, we'll talk more about it throughout the week. Whittizen's officially launched yesterday. We are the senior Whittizens, and as part of that, we're putting on a little event for you guys this Sunday at the K outside of Gate B for Bobby. Make that nice and easy for you. We will have a Bobby Witt Jr. lookalike contest with mystery prizes. Good mystery prizes, to my understanding. We will have swag. Gold's holding up an official Whittizen sticker. Can you show me? Can you show me maybe a pin? Or some eye black.
Well,
there's the senior Whittizen one. There's a white one that goes in that, and then there's some eye black.
On. I mean, you can
that's
just
on your
see
face.
It,
yeah,
know?
You can see that as well. We'll have some of that out there as well. Looking forward to seeing you all out there. Hoping to have a bunch of people try out for the contest. I'll be honest, Alex and I are scheduled to be the judges of that. So I don't know. Should we tell people on Friday maybe what we're looking for, what we see in a champion of a Bobby Witt Jr. lookalike?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you have the facial hair to go along with it, I think that's going to be a big thing for me.
You guys are going to be looking at the bone structure of their nose to make sure.
Whether it be painted on or
yes,
real.
Yes, exactly.
But the goatee feels like it's got to be on.
I think that's going to be key as well.
Oh, yeah, everybody get a little button. I'm going to stick these on my kids' backpacks.
We got to get you the eye black, man. I know it doesn't have Joe Burrow on it, but you can still wear it.
I love when I played baseball. It was one of the fun. The eye black thing was a requirement for all of us. We love the eye black.
Not stickers when I was a kid, so maybe that speaks to my age. We put eye black on with a marker.
You actually put it on.
No, that's the way that we did it. We would take it and then spread it to make it like not just a
Someone wants to know if we're going to wear the eye black when we play in the KC Current Media game on Saturday night. I might.
Yes, wear the wigs. I think that would be fascinating.
The wigs would be too hot running around.
I'm not wearing this crown and trying to do
that.
But
you might talk me into wearing the Whittizen eye black during the media game. I don't know. Maybe. Might be a little out of place, but why not? Why not?
Yeah.
That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Don't forget, if you're thinking about what to do for food today, lunch, dinner, or any day of the week, our friends over at 3rd Street Social, the spot to go, part of the Summit Hospitality Group, the official taco partner of Cody and Gold. 3 locations, no matter where you are in town, near you. How about up in the Northland? Lee Summit, also the South Plaza location. 3rd Street Social today has $2.50 tacos at any of those 3 locations starting at 3 o'clock. So Taco Tuesday over at 3rd Street Social.
As of right now, the text line, that's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. People are we already did that. I'm sorry. People over in the text, I don't have the headphones on anymore, so it's throwing me off because we're wearing these crowns for the Whittizens. Yes. People were asking us, like, where can I buy the stickers? As of right now, if you want to be a founding member of the Whittizens, Sunday's where you're going to have to get this stuff. We don't have it for sale yet, but as of the moment, if you want to be a founding member, almost a senior Whittizen like ourselves, you got to come on Sunday and get some of this stuff. There'll be plenty of it, I believe, to hand out. And again, you can get the haircut and do the whole thing. It's going to be fun. The eye black, I got lots of those. I can't burn through those. We'll make sure everyone's got plenty of eye black coming up on Sunday. Should be a fun time in the crowd, man.
Yeah, we'll get Drew dressed up as well by the time we get to Sunday. We'll get him all in.
Drew, I don't think they didn't send a 3rd crown.
They didn't.
We'll get some eye black.
I'm going to be totally honest.
Got the other stuff.
Based on the way that this thing has been, I'll be lucky if I get to go to the game. I'm going to be honest.
Text line said that they weren't sure if you were deserving.
We're getting you into the game on Sunday.
The text line said they weren't sure if you were deserving of senior Whittizen status and questioned whether
like junior Whittizen is what I saw.
If he should be amongst the regular Whittizens rather than just being a part of. They gave us more senior Whittizens than there are, as far as I know. We're the only 2 senior Whittisons.
I think Drew gets a senior Whittizen badge for sure. Come on now.
I would take being a regular Whittizen over a junior Whittizen, which is
that sounds kind of like camp.
Sounds like I'm 10. Yeah.
Yeah, summer campy.
Definitely.
Coming up in about 20 minutes or so, we'll talk more about Trey Smith, who has about a week to get a deal done with the Chiefs on a long-term deal. That's coming up in just a bit. Of course, random question of the day later on this hour as well. But I want to get back into where this Royals team is at right this second, because we're in a 5-game stretch observing an offense that looks like what we were hoping the offense to be and what we saw the offense be last year. And that is the big 3, and Bobby, Vinny, and Salvi all at the same time are hitting. Vinny's been hitting for multiple months now. Bobby's been hitting, I'd say, since the middle of last month. And then Salvi's having a nice start to the month of July or so. It's not that complicated when we've talked about this offense the entire season, which is, can you ever get the three of them hitting at the same time, and that'll solve all your problems? And it's only 5-6 games now, but it's not a coincidence. They're winning some games. They're scoring more runs. It's because of those three. It's nice to see Nick Lofton get a home run, but with all due respect to him, he's not why the offense is going to make or break here, okay? Down the stretch.
Glad he hit a homer.
Yeah, good for him. First one at Kauffman Stadium, I believe, in his big league career. But it's about the three. Bobby, Vinny, and Salvi. It's nice to see also if India could get going in the second half of the season too. But this offense would have to do this at minimum for the rest of the week before you're convincing me that, okay, they found something. This is all great. I'm not trying to knock what the last 5 or 6 games are.
With what they're
but
doing,
let's still be realistic about the situation. They are still 5 back of a wild card spot. They just did it against the Pirates, which is great. Okay, finish this series out. Win this series. Keep it going throughout the rest of the homestand, a place where you've struggled to win games. And then we can talk next Monday and see where things are at if they put together a week plus of this offense of those big three. So they're playing better baseball, no doubt. But it's a very small sample size out of the 92 games they have played.
I think what you said kind of stands out the most about it, which is it feels like last year's offense. I'm still not blown away with all the other contributions. Maikel Garcia having an excellent year. Jonathan India is now a league average-ish player over the last month of the season, so that's big. But again, it's going to rely on so much more offense continuing at this rate the entire time. But you're right. Go get the series win against the Pirates tonight. Don't put it in the hands of Wednesday night's game and hope that that's the one that you come together, and then wait for the Mets to come to town and get 2 out of 3 against them too, and feel good about yourself going into the All-Star break. Right now the Royals are 4 or 5 games still below 500?
4 back, 4 under 500, 5 back, I believe.
4 under 500. So the 5 games they have remaining before the All-Star game, if they could go 4-1, well then you're talking about a team that's just a game back of 500, and you are somewhere. You are back to where you need to be in order to kind of make this post-All-Star game push. There are a couple of players, including Kags, who I know we'll talk about in a minute, who I think could use the All-Star game as a break. But yeah, the offense is coming around. I have been continuously impressed by Noah Cameron. I told you really early in the season, start 1, 2, 3. I was like, I'm going to need a little bit of time. Not a big strikeout guy. I'm going to need a little bit of time before I decide what I think the career or upside of Noah Cameron could or will or might end up being, because at some point a big adjustment from the bigs will come his way, and all of these teams will come and make him just every week shows up.
Yeah, I would say what's really impressive is I still have my long-term concerns, can he replicate anything what he's doing next year, et cetera, and worry about that next year. But what impressed me the most was earlier this year when one of his first starts was against the Cardinals. And then he turned around 2 or 3 weeks later, and he pitched against the Cardinals again. So you saw a team for a second time in a short period.
Yeah.
And he was still very efficient. And I won't say dominant, but he pitched very well in that game. That, to me, was the sign of, okay, now this can be, at least for this season, sustainable. You're right. He's never going to be a guy that's going to strike out a bunch. You can tell, very, very smart pitcher. Really smart. Reminds you of Seth Lugo in that way. Reminds you of Seth Lugo in that way.
There's I'll be honest, when he got called up, I thought, okay, it's just another Jonathan Bolin. I had no expectations for Noah Cameron. Just another dude at the back end of the rotation. I thought might do something. Now I have some hope that maybe they have a 3-starter in there, and I didn't know it, because once he got to the bigs, his stuff ended up playing a lot bit better. I get it. Some of the advanced metrics, like the strikeouts, are going to work against him, or the fielding, independent pitching, or all those things. But more than anything is, he's not giving up. He's good at not giving up home runs very often, and he doesn't walk guys. And if you do that, you're only going to get in so much trouble. He's not giving up a ton of hits. He's not giving up a ton of walks. And if you do that, for the most part, as a pitcher, you're going to be pretty successful. And I think that that's what has stood out probably the most about him and where he has been so far this year. I mean, if he continues this all year, again, he's a 2-WAR player now, and being a 3-WAR pitcher for this team.
Does that make what he's doing? I'm curious because you guys have been covering this team for longer. Cody, you were the insider. Does that make what Noah Cameron's doing, I think, more impressive because he doesn't have the strikeout? He doesn't have that velo where you're you have to hit your spots, and if you don't, you're going to get hit, and you're going to get hit hard. all over the yard. Where what he's doing, he has to be pinpoint accurate all the time for him to be as effective as he's been.
And I'm not saying he has no chance of winning it. Jacob Wilson is obviously going to win the AL Rookie of the Year. It seems fairly obvious. Maybe Cam Smith makes a push, but
Noah Cameron's not winning Rookie of the Year.
But he should be. No, I'm saying he should just be higher. That's all.
Yeah.
The type of season he's having, he should be higher in the odds market or higher in the respect market than, I don't know, Jason Dominguez or Roman Anthony. He's been better than those players.
Sure, agreed.
Nick Kurtz, he's been better than those players. He just consistently has been one of the 5 best rookies in baseball probably this year. Now, look, I get it. Mizorowski or whatever's got a chance on the NL side. At least one of the 5 best in the American League, no question. 3 best in the American League.
Yeah,
It's been
somebody
impressive.
was asking on the text line, 913-586-7965, why are you both shocked about Noah Cameron? That's the whole point of developing players. A couple of reasons. One, he's not a top prospect, and he's not a strikeout guy. So if you're at, why did we not expect it? Look, other than Noah Cameron's family, I don't know anybody that expected him to pitch like this. I mean, the Royals didn't expect him to pitch like this.
Or they weren't talking about him that way, you know?
No, I mean, even JJ's been honest with us, even about Chris Bubich. They thought Chris Bubich would have a nice year. They didn't think he would pitch this well. There's no way the Royals thought Noah Cameron on July 8th would have 11 outings for the big league club and have what's his ERA again, Cody?
2.56.
No chance. No chance. And again, credit to him, he's doing it. But if you're asking why there wasn't hype, it's the same reason. It's just the way prospect systems. Why was there hype around Mizorowski on the Brewers and Chase Burns for the Reds? They were top 10 prospect, top 10. At least in Burns' case, top 10 prospect in all of baseball. Mizorowski was a top 30 prospect in all of baseball, I think, or 50, 30.
30
that's why. That's all it is. Doesn't guarantee you anything. You got to go out and do it. And Noah Cameron's going out and doing it. So props to him. But that's why there wasn't the expectation on when Noah Cameron made his debut in Tampa at that spring training stadium of the Yankees. Okay, nobody was thinking a star or number 3 prospect or number 3 pitcher for the future for the Royals.
I remember you guys talking about it, and it was like, yeah, he's probably going to get sent down again here in the very near future.
He got sent down immediately after his first start.
And for the fact that he was able to get called back up, and he's played his way into, there's no reason to ever think that he can't be what he's been.
Yeah, someone said, what if Noah Cameron throws a perfect game? Does that jump into a Rookie of the Year candidate? He would probably have the second best odds all of a sudden, yes.
He nearly had. I mean, he was tracking it in that first start.
75-1. He's got the same odds as Jack Kagglelion.
No, but if he pitched in this crazy hypothetical in the text line,
I think he'd be like Roman Anthony territory, 30-1.
Perfect game. He would get attention. People would pay attention to his numbers all of a sudden.
How far into that no-hitter was he in that debut?
6 1/3 maybe or something?
Yeah, 6 1/3, I think.
Yeah.
So in the 7th inning.
Yeah.
Jacob Wilson's winning Rookie of the Year. We know that. I mean,
technically, the odds have gotten a lot closer on that.
Who else is going to step
Cam
up?
Thomas is
who
the
else
guy.
Gonna,
yeah.
Or Cam Smith.
Or Cam Smith.
For the Astros.
For the Astros. He stepped up. So he's the next. He's only plus 170. He's at least in the ballpark.
Wilson would have to really fall off, though.
I agree.
Or get hurt, which you never want to see.
Speaking of a guy who we thought would have a chance to compete for Rookie of the Year when he got called up earlier, Jack Kagglelion, who's off to a rough start to his major league debut. And his first month as a big league player, a little over a month. And for the first time, JJ in pregame, I heard him say something that I haven't heard them say, which is he felt like he was getting a sense that it was getting to Jack a little bit, the lack of big league success. Look, there's still no power. He has the one game when I was in Texas and could have gone when he hit 2 home runs. And outside of that, he does not have a single ball over the wall in the big leagues, absent that one afternoon in Texas where he managed to get 2. And I'd be kind of surprised if it didn't get to him right now. I still think it's going to be, I think the All-Star break is a good thing for Kags. I think he gets to step away. He gets 5 days to take his mind off of it, relax, breathe, catch your breath probably for the first time in your big league career, settle back in, watch some tape if you want, and then head back out on Friday or Saturday. I think it's Friday when the season starts back up and you kind of get underway. It seems like of all the players on the team, the All-Star break's coming at the best time for him.
Just to reset.
Yeah, and then you give him a few weeks after the All-Star game.
Yeah, so he gets the month of July.
To do this before you make your decisions about if you need to send him down to AAA. Because that's going to be a real conversation in a couple of weeks if it continues.
Yeah, he gets the month. And then you kind of see where he's at. If there's any signs and you don't want to completely, kill any bit of confidence or whatever that exists. Because it's as much as you say you don't want to kill it because you keep him in the big leagues. Also, what does it do if you send him to the minors, though, too? In a top prospect and you get sent back down. And there's plenty of examples where top prospects have been sent back down. It's worked out still long-term for them. But I also don't think, and maybe here's the thing, if guys like Bobby, Vinny, and Salvi can hit the way they're hitting the last 5 games, and they can extend that out for another week.
You can afford to give him more time.
Well, I also think, does that also help him? Just not even time, but is the pressure gone at that point where everybody's, you know what I mean? And if the team's doing better, does he feel less pressure? Other than some of the specific stuff, and you and I have talked about it on the show. I know we had JJ last week. He said a lot of the swing analysis stuff is similar to what he was doing in the minors. We just haven't seen the results. And obviously they have looked at that data that you and I haven't looked at. I still, this goes back to the whole hitting development thing.
Time I allow that, yeah.
This goes back to the hitting development thing and the hitting coach thing as well, and like the concerns about how has this happened all of a sudden, other than just the big jump to the big leagues. He's got holes in his swing. We knew that when he got called up. I think everybody's surprised to the extent that it's been exposed, maybe.
I think that's JJ essentially said as much, like over on Twitch, somebody brought up, like, it should bother him. That's what JJ said. He said, I'd be more concerned if it didn't. Like, at some point, you want those struggles. Like, we saw Vinny bothered by his early season struggles, remember? Like, you went out there and he's like, I don't understand. And yeah, I'm frustrated and I'm not hitting well enough. And I know that. And I got to go fix these things. I never expected him to just step into the big leagues and be an immediate star right away. I don't know if that's just because they were kind of warning us that some of the things that could be problems in the big league level, he was going to have to be exposed at the big league level in order to adjust. That's where the AAA thing could be good for you. You now know the things that they're going to exploit. You're going to have to be a pickier hitter. You can't swing as much outside the zone as you were able to get away with against AAA pitchers. So the things that go in there, but also as confidence is massive in the sport. I'm still not outside of if he just goes 5 for his next 9, if it doesn't just unlock. My problem is, in a weird way, do you want him to get hot before the All-Star break? Or I think the best case scenario is the last 2-3 games, these 5 games, I guess, Gold, he gets something going, and then he gets to take a few days off, not thinking about how much he's struggling, versus if the level of struggle he's been doing for the last 5 days continues, and then he's got to struggle like this for 5 days and then sit on it for the whole week, Gold, thinking about how he's still struggling in the big. That's tough. That's really tough. And then you got to try to keep that kid's confidence up while he's got nothing to do but think about it during the All-Star break. Maybe just goes home and finds a new place. I don't know. Or maybe he's finally looking for a place in Kansas City. You think they just put him in like a dorm for now?
No, maybe like a condo or something initially, but I'm guessing by now they probably found a place, his fiance or whatever. I'm not sure, man.
Found a lease? I don't know how that works. I've never asked a player a detailed enough accounting of when you get to the big leagues, how long do you have before you got to find a place?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'll happen pretty quick for him, I'm sure.
I imagine they've got some places you can just stay for at least a little while. Because what are you doing for the guys who are going up and down the I-29 corridor? You're just forcing them to keep an apartment in Kansas City?
They have condos or apartments in Kansas City for some of those guys.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Just, how long do they give you before you got to find a place? From the 6-2-0, the facts are he's an automatic out. Right now he is.
Yeah, he's not hitting well.
No one's trying to deny that, I don't think. It's just whether or not you think he can come out of it at some point this season or if it's a year 2 thing. Like for Jackson Holliday, for instance, he got sent down his rookie year. He has come up. He's not having like some gangbuster year for the age. He's having a good year, and he needed the send down and then the calendar turn and a fresh start. And, what version? Can he fix it after the All-Star break is what we care about right now. Not does Jack Kagglelion have no chance to be a quality big league player? I don't know that yet. That's just
you're saying the send down would be to fix to get the confidence up and then bring it back up again because
and to work on some of the swing things that they're attacking you on now.
Yeah.
Like he got exposed a little bit in the big leagues. Happens to a lot of guys.
That was part of the conversation though that I think you guys said it, and even I don't know if JJ brought it up to an extent, but there was nothing more in AAA that he needed. He was going to get exposed in the big leagues. That was just going to happen.
It was just batting practice. He was going to have to go to the bigs.
He was so good in AAA that he needed to get that, not wake-up call. I think that's a bad way to say it, but, that experience, if you will.
Yeah, that's all. Just outside of that, just looking at it. But, at least some change in there would at least make it. But, again, he knows that. He already did the stuff other guys do. Cut his hair. His facial hair looks different. Like he's already doing some of the stuff that all of us do when you're in a rut. And you're like, especially if you've ever played any sport, you're just like changing your socks, changing the way you wear the pants, changing the hair. If you need a haircut, by the way, this Sunday, you can get a Bobby Witt Jr. one outside of Gate B for Bobby as part of our Whittizen launch. But yeah, I think a fresh start after the All-Star break would be big. I'd love for him to just have like a hit 300 for the next 5 days, then get to just be like,
Yep.
catch your breath, and then come back into the second half and be a big-time player for this offense.
Yeah, I'm still buying stock, though. I'll tell you that.
I am too.
I'm still buying stock.
Like actual stock? Are you buying cards right now?
I'm not.
Are you still in the card game?
Actual stock as well. Yes, actual stock in the card game. I'm not selling stock on Kags. That would be foolish to do at this point in time. All right, up next, let's get to random question of the day. And who could get a deal by this time next week? Who needs a deal by this time next week with the Chiefs?
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Men, maybe you've just been feeling tired. Maybe you got through that long holiday week and you're like, boy, that wore me out more than I'm used to. The workouts haven't been the same. All of these things can be signs of low testosterone. So don't wait. Go find out at Low T Center. Get your levels checked with a simple test, on-site lab, and you'll get your results back right there. Low T Center is not your typical doctor's office. The physicians specialize in treating low T with testosterone replacement therapy. Their TRT plans are individualized for each individual patient. You understand what it's like to just be treated like a part of the group. You want, when it comes to medical care, to make sure that you're being treated like an individual, and that's what they'll do at the Low T Center. For current patients, they're offering a $150 referral credit for each new patient that you refer as well. And at Low T Center, you can get your health evaluated for treatment, prescription GLP-1 weight loss medications. So get back to your best. Stop waiting. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
FanDuel, because nothing says summer fun like adding excitement to the game while your friends are out there getting sunburned at the beach. Summer sports are calling your name. Baseball under the stadium lights, golf on pristine green fairways, soccer matches with world-class goals, and all the action-packed moments in between. You were going to spend all day following your favorite sports on your phone anyway? Might as well make it more thrilling with FanDuel. Open the app today to see the daily promotions, and new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/Alex to get started. FanDuel is an official partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Do you know a coach who goes above and beyond? The Royals, the CU and the Major Leagues Foundation, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City are recognizing those impactful men and women. Nominate your high school coach at royals.com/coaches with character.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If Old Spice Deep Sea Super Hydration Body Wash were music, what would it sound like? Start with the deep sounds of Old Spice's ocean waves and kelp. Layer on the smooth, renewing moisture. You wouldn't hear any parabens or phthalates because Old Spice Deep Sea hasn't got any. But you would hear that vitamin B3 for healthier looking skin. So while your regular body wash sounds like this, Old Spice sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Let's bring the nail gun over here.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the K or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Coming up in about 8 minutes, we will get to the random question of the day. We'll see what Cody's got in store for us. I don't know.
Okay, so this one was insomnia fueled. Couldn't sleep last night.
Did you lose power last night? I woke up to like beeping. It went off for like 5 minutes and an AC kicked back on and we were good. But I don't know, 4 o'clock in the morning, all of a sudden the power went out. I know we had some rain, but it wasn't like
No,
severe.
it was storming pretty good, I guess, in the middle. But no,
I got knocked out just for about 5 minutes.
I couldn't sleep, so and then randomly something popped in my head. And so that'll be the random question today.
I don't know if you caught this, Cody, and I don't know if this is actually true. You said it kicked off about 4 a.m, but then after that it kicked back on and we were good. I'm asking.
Saying we.
I'm asking.
There's nobody else there.
I'm asking.
I just said
good
we.
catch, though.
Good catch, yeah.
I do appreciate you asking that. Someone did to call him fine yesterday on Twitter, so we got to make sure.
And we were good. Like, just what you would say. Like,
we as in the people of the apartment complex.
Yeah, we were good to go. Like, we.
I got you. I got you.
I understand what you're saying.
What's her name?
Yeah.
Try to catch him now.
By the way, also, you know what? My dog and I, were good.
There you go.
Good cover.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Either way, it was in the middle
Monday
of the
night got a little crazy, Cody, you know?
It'd be an interesting night for what we're suggesting here. But you know what? Maybe it's been happening for weeks. And you've just been keeping it real quiet, Drew.
Right.
You never know.
I don't know. I felt the need to ask.
We'll get to the random question today coming up in just a few minutes, as you mentioned. But we're 1 week from the deadline for Trey Smith. So there's no confusion. I think every once in a while this is one of those easy ones to miss. Trey Smith has to sign a long-term extension in the next week, or the Chiefs cannot sign him to a long-term extension until the free agency period, the tampering period essentially begins next year. So they can't enter contract negotiations with him after the season, but he is not allowed to try to get a long-term contract if he misses the deadline in a week. We'll talk about in a minute whether or not we think that the quietness part of that and the fact that we've heard nothing is good or bad. But the thing that interested me was when I went back to Chris Jones, I realized how much he affected all the other contracts. How much I feel like he had an effect on the Nick Bolton deal when they were talking about maybe doing that one early, and some of these other offensive line deals when they were talking about doing those early, or maybe what they even offered Trent Williams or all these other. It just threw off all the contracts because they knew they wanted Chris Jones so bad. It felt like it put everything on pause. And my fear is that for some reason Trey Smith doesn't get his deal done in a week. It's going to hold off on any potential McDuffie extension, any potential George Karlaftis extension. It's going to make the guessing game on the what you do with Patrick Mahomes numbers more difficult. And so, like, I think it just throws off more contract decisions more than you think. And so, like, that's just another reason why this deal is important to get done in a week.
In particular, Trent McDuffie, because I'm convinced that Karlaftis, they're going to play this thing out till the end or till next offseason at least, whereas McDuffie, for the reason that you mentioned with other corners that are potentially going to get deals done before the start of the season, most notably Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, I don't want that contract in a year.
And what he's going to get paid, you could cost yourself a couple $1 million across the contract, or a per year average, depending on what the deal is. And so you can't really do that until you get things cleared up with Trey Smith. And yeah, like I still think it does get done, but you want to be able to move on. Like, they can get a deal done with McDuffie while we're up in St. Joe. They can get a deal done the day before the day of the season. That's cool. Trey Smith, you got to get it done next week. That's the deadline. We were joking about deadlines with the stadium stuff that's moved 100 times. No, there is an actual NFL deadline for franchise tag players to get a long-term deal done. That doesn't move. There's no, we actually meant August 1st. No, it has to be done next week.
Yeah, it's not like a pretend deadline, or it's a real deadline in which it has to get done. I think the fact that we've heard nothing is good. I think normally if it sounds like things aren't going to get done, by now I would have heard blank and blank thinks. I'd have heard Jeff Darlington or Tom Pelissero or some NFL reporter, Schefter, being like, the Chiefs want $24 million a year, but Trey Smith wants $27 million a year. Hell, I'll be honest, I think we've been hearing that for 2 weeks by this point with the Chris Jones one a couple of years ago. So the silence on it is actually a good sign for me.
I think it is as well. I would also say, you know why? I don't think there's negotiation needs to happen, but I don't think there's a ton of uncertainty. You kind of know what the per year average has to be based on what the tag price is.
23 to 25 million a year.
So you kind of know what the price is. It sounds like the debate is 4 years versus 5. And then maybe how much is guaranteed, but you kind of have a baseline to go off there. Like, I think we kind of know what the discrepancy might be and where the negotiation is lying. I don't think it's like there's a ton of stuff to figure out. But yeah, it's go time on it. It's definitely go time on it. And if they're far apart, I think we will start hearing that this weekend. I think we'll start hearing it Friday or Saturday. That, okay, the two sides are not close. I think they are close. What percentage-wise I think they get a deal done with Trey Smith?
80?
The reason why I think it's 80 or 90, Cody, is because I'll give the organization the benefit of the doubt on this, which is I don't think they trade Joe Thuney unless they were confident they would get this deal done. Because otherwise, it is a big, big mistake. Because you're only getting Trey Smith for this year, and then you're going to have to deal with it in the offseason again. And yes, Cody, it kind of holds you back from figuring out deals with McDuffie and or Karlaftis.
And then next year you also have to figure out maybe right guard, and you're not even sure if you're figured out at right tackle, and you're only this year going to find out whether or not you're solved at left tackle. It's like, is that what you want to entertain? In addition to the extra contracts it's already asking questions about, the ones we had mentioned, Gold, the contracts at McDuffie and Karlaftis, the guys who are already in-house, you would then also potentially be like right back in a brand new offensive line rebuild. There's a chance, like if this Trey Smith deal fell through and you don't get it done the way you did the Chris Jones one, you could be looking for a new left guard, because we don't know if Kingsley's going to work out. You could be looking for a new left tackle, left guard, right tackle. Well, that sounds like a horrible way to go into an offseason. At least be sure that right guard is locked up. Then you can be like, well, you know what? Maybe we got a little more flexibility outside of that. And yeah, maybe you do get lucky and Simmons is the goods, and you're and you're good to go at least there, and you can just say, okay, Joshua Simmons is good. We're good at left tackle. Now we're good at center. Now we're good at right guard. Now you're getting down to like solving a couple of things. Maybe get lucky in Kingsley, right? But if you have to solve right guard in addition to it, good luck. Good luck figuring that all out in an offseason. That just sounds like a headache. This deal has just too much contending or too much writing on the rest of it. Like, I just kind of feel like you have to get it done. Concede the couple of million. Pay him what he's got to be paid. And the fact that he wants to be here should make this deal easier. It's not even like a well-kept secret.
Both sides, truly, I believe both sides want to get it done, and I still think it happens. We talked to Nate Taylor about it last week, and I think he also said he thinks it gets done just based on you having to get this thing done. And when both parties really want to make it happen, usually you can come to an agreement on something. And in this case, deadlines truly do spur action. Kind of waiting around. Now we're almost here. Because there's one thing when we played the comments from Brett Veach right before the draft, and it was funny because he was asked about Trey Smith, and he's like, "Well, his agency's really busy with the draft, so it's like, if there was a deal at that point, if you were close, then you would have got it done. You would have got it done then." So we'll see next week. Obviously, we'll be talking about this, and certainly if there's any update or news on it throughout this week as well. But something to keep an eye on because it does have a massive trickle down effect to some other pieces in this Royals organization.
It certainly does. And, our Chiefs organization, we're going to have to pay a lot of attention to it. It's fine. It's kind of hard to shake, when you're dressed in a crown and sunglasses. The wig's itchy, man. I ditched the wig.
Cody, you don't have a wig or the glasses. We're losing each piece.
I wanted people to be able to see the eye black.
Every segment we're losing. Cody's going to take the crown off next. We're losing everything, man.
I wanted people to be able to see the eye black.
You can see
it. See it under the glasses?
Yeah. Depending on how low you have it, yeah.
Fine, I'm back.
The wig is a little itchy.
Should I just stick this across my chest?
Well, you got to have the...
put it on my laptop? I've never put sticker
I just
on
have
my
a case.
laptop.
I don't have it on the laptop. I have it on the case,
I don't have a case on
the senior Whittizen, Anyway.
Unlike my cell phone, I guess that's not.
I think it's happening. I think Trey Smith gets a deal by Sunday. I
think it happens before the deadline, but I'm still pretty optimistic. Like I mentioned 80% to you, and you're like, hell, it might be higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still very confident. The less I hear, the better. If I start hearing Trey's actually looking for blank, then I'll start to question the security of it. But to this point, at least, I still feel pretty good.
Random question.
Gotta make sure because we can't wear headphones with these crowns. It really throws me
I
off.
got headphones next to me. I can hear.
I kind of miss it.
I can hear Drew talking. And
I kind of miss it. The random question today is brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. So for you, Gold, you, Drew, over on the text line 913-586-7965. Of course, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. Certainly a good week to go watch the video stream, seeing how we're dressed up kind of ridiculous every day. I'm wearing my The Boys Are Playing Some Ball jersey that Quick Trip sent me with the number 7 Bobby Witt Jr. number on it. So thanks, Quick Trip. Appreciate the support. I couldn't sleep last night. I was sitting up in the middle of the night thinking of random stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to God, out of nowhere, a song had popped in my head. And I'll explain. No, hold on. I promise I'll explain it in a minute. I'm going to ask the question first, then I'll explain the song as it sits. And then you'll realize how far back this goes for me at this point.
Okay.
What it made me think of is, I want you today, the random question is, what is a piece of schoolwork you did that you were still proud of today? As in, you did it and you're like, man, I kicked ass on that assignment. And for the rest of life, you won't forget it. All of mine, and you will not be surprised by this, are still in the creative field. So in the 5th grade, I remembered we had to do like a historical event, and we did ours on the Alamo, in which I played cannon fire through a yak back into a karaoke machine to really bring people in the immersive experience. That still stands out as being like, I crushed that assignment. No doubt. I did my best. I also liked the children's book I wrote called Joe's Big Spooky Head. Big fan of that. No, like regular work. It's all just creative nonsense. One time I had to do a PSA for the blood drive for a class, and we just spent the entire time in a giant blood drop suit beating it until it gave enough blood that it could actually help save a life.
What are
I was
these
pretty proud of that.
projects?
What's that?
What are these projects?
These are look, man, you can make school whatever you want it to be, essentially. You guys didn't have to do a children's book? I feel like everybody did that. Everybody did do children's books? Requires you to write, create.
I just don't remember any of this stuff.
You remember a single piece of school?
I remember some. I don't remember at least myself doing anything like that.
Props to you for remembering. Clearly, you've very proud of the work you did.
Twitch immediately said, "Where the wild things are." Pastel in 5th grade art.
Yeah, I don't. There's not a specific project where I was like, man, did a great job in 4th grade.
Did you do a dare essay or something?
No.
It could be any level of school.
I have one.
The only project I remember, it wasn't even a project. I had to do a whole report in you had to pick. I had to do mine on T. Boone Pickens at Oklahoma State in his wind. He was big in solar panel, wind energy or whatever.
Energy?
I had to do a whole report on that. But like,
I didn't do a report on Josh
just only report I remember.
in 6th grade, talking about why he was the best power hitter in baseball history. I was pretty proud of that paper.
There's a couple of good ones. I know in elementary school we did. Everybody was like assigned an animal. We were doing endangered species.
Okay.
And I had the Kodiak bear, which is it's a relative of the grizzly bear, etc.
What do you still remember about the Kodiak? Anything?
No, I couldn't tell you.
I was
no,
hoping
no.
you still had a bunch of Kodiak bear
But I
facts up
remember,
there.
so part of it was you had to, one of the sections of, you will, of this report was you had to talk about the habitat that they lived in. So I made a paper mache of essentially, it lives in the mountains. So I made a paper mache mountain with a river, had some fish, had put some Swedish fish in the river to represent the fish, had like a statue that I got at the zoo of a bear that looked similar to a Kodiak bear.
Yeah.
Popped that on the paper mache and made a huge, like, it had to have been.
Dick Saturday remembers it.
I mean, it was a good size. It was like a size of the poster of a poster board, probably. That's about how big it was.
All kinds of them over on the text line. People remember from the 816, I created a replica of Andy Warhol's zebra painting with pastels.
Ooh, nice.
Someone said they won their science fair experiment in the 6th grade. That would always stand out, right? That would constantly stand out, I would think, outside of there. Someone said they built a walnut dresser from scratch, which kudos to you. I don't think I ever got that far into the woodworking part of high school that would have gotten me that far down the list. What's funny is part of the reason I remember this is when I was pitching potential children's book stories, we had to stand up and pitch 3 potential children's book stories. And for one of them, I had created, I wish I was kidding, it's like 7th grade, an entire song to go with the story pitch.
Of course you did.
And I can't believe, and so like last night in the middle of the night, I'm like, man, I've been just doing this for way too long. And then I remembered, what I couldn't believe is, despite the fact I hadn't thought about that song. It was a story about a Fred the Turtle. And I couldn't believe that I still, like, immediately some of the lyrics came to head. It was because it's to a famous rhythm. It just said, there once was a turtle and his name was Fred. He wore cool boxers, they were deep magenta red. Then one day he decided to go to Maui, but his friends didn't want to, so they all had a cowie. And there were like 4 verses. Like, I'm not kidding, Drew. I wrote the whole thing.
I don't know if you heard. I beatboxed to a little segment of what you just did. Very good.
So I don't know, man. I was just like, it hit me in the middle of the night, and then I'm like, you don't seem proud of any of your schoolwork.
Yeah, dang.
You did something in college you thought that was quality work for the time.
Maybe I'm in the minority. I don't care what I did in 3rd grade project wise anymore. I don't like. You're like, what a project I was proud of. No, not really. Like, nothing stands out really.
Gold wasn't worried about the schoolwork.
I think he was a fine student.
Gold was winning
Gold
recess.
sounds like he was a bad student.
Cody sounds like he's still proud to this day about 5 projects he did in 2nd grade.
Oh, at least. Well, those are spread out.
I'm not saying Gold
I don't remember anything I did in 2nd grade as being stand out as quality.
No, I'm not saying he wasn't worried about the schoolwork and stuff. I'm just saying he was too busy. You know, he had other things going on. He was talking to the ladies. He was too busy winning recess. Like, he didn't have time to remember the schoolwork stuff.
What was the longest paper you ever had to write?
But here's the thing.
Oh
here's
my
honestly,
gosh,
no
it was
joke.
long.
Like,
5,000 words?
No, but here's the honest issue. Like, so with this random question, no joke. So Cody was up for an hour, couldn't sleep, so he was thinking about it. Cody's asking me this on the spot.
That's true.
Cody was up for 5 hours thinking about school projects 25 years ago. In 3 minutes, I'm supposed to remember every project they did in elementary school.
I remember one. I thought one would stand out.
I just don't. Yeah, I told you the one presentation I had to give. I think I made a Velociraptor diorama once or whatever, but that's about all I remember.
The longest essays I always had to write were in college, which makes sense, I guess.
For those who are saying that sounds like the Beverly Hillbillies theme song, it is. It does not sound like it at all. It's definitely that. That's what it was modeled after. Do you guys? I still can't believe you guys didn't have to do a children's book. We had to
maybe we did, Cody.
We had to make them in middle school, and then we had to go read them to the elementary school students.
After people texted
I don't remember.
I did something similar, but it wasn't a history book. Like I wrote a book on Dr. James Naismith inventing basketball.
There you go.
But it wasn't to the level of what you're explaining, Cody. It wasn't to that level.
Excellent says Bink would grade this question a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, the way he was grading the
ranking system.
He would have crushed this one.
He would, because
he would have crushed this one.
Gold had, when you weren't here obviously, but Bill Self's desk was being auctioned off, and Gold asked if you could have one desk of anybody, essentially. Like,
context is needed. Bink was supposed to have the random question. He didn't have one, and we had to come up with one in 10 seconds.
Yeah, Bink forgot, didn't want to come up with one. So Gold asked it on the fly, and then Bink was like, "This is a terrible question." And it's like, Bink, you didn't have a question.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You'd have to give me a lot of time to think about what I did in projects in elementary school.
Well, it could be middle or high school. It wasn't limited, you know.
Yeah, in general, though. Yeah.
Do you remember any of your science
Someone says I
projects?
don't remember what I did Sunday. How am I supposed to remember 3rd grade?
Some of us, you know, sitting up in the middle of the night thinking about those things, you know.
Yeah.
What was your best recess game?
So I enjoyed tetherball, but I don't know if that was my bad. I enjoyed tetherball for a while. They're not even allowed to play tetherball anymore.
They play Gaga Ball, which
I'm
is
sure they got it at
tetherball was fun. Otherwise, just kickball. Everybody enjoys kickball.
I honestly think we should take the power of this show and convince schools to eliminate Gaga Ball. It's the lamest
I'm not familiar with that.
recess game.
Tetherball was very popular at the time.
It's like if dodgeball and tetherball were the most boring games on the planet, is essentially what it is. Gaga Ball is an octagon pit in which there's a ball on the ground, and you have to essentially slap it to try to roll into the other player's legs. As you can imagine, can't really get much juice on the ball doing it that way, making it a far safer alternative than the games we played as a kid. Because I also don't think anymore, like, I think they play less like kickball and stuff too, because they don't want kids pelting each other with those, like, you know, red balls.
Wait, they can't even play kickball anymore?
I'm just saying they do less of that kind of stuff. There's way less of the physical contact than the sports we played in elementary school.
Were they doing yoga out in
They're
recess?
doing Gaga Ball.
Do you guys ever do kickball basketball?
Kickball basketball. Explain.
So essentially, you have you have the normal kickball, but if let's say I kick it and it goes and it goes deep and it hits the ground, if you get let's say I want to get to first, or if I want to get to second, if you are in between bases and they get the ball up to a basketball to the basketball goal and they make a basket, if you're in between bases, you're out. If you're not on a base, you're out. So you can kind of steal an out, even if it hits the ground, I guess. You want to throw the ball at the individual running, you would just try to get it into the basket.
Middle school PE teachers saying,
they're saying
Gaga Ball is very popular.
Right, yeah. Now I hear people mention the egg drop project. Is that another one everybody did?
Someone said they play, they play kickball every day. They play football every day. They play soccer every day. They play tetherball every day.
I didn't know about tetherball. That I was unsure of. I just know that all of the playgrounds have the Gaga
I figure,
Ball.
why would they be able to play kickball and soccer and tetherball and all these other things?
I don't know, man. They changed it. They still got the little scooters.
Oh, where your finger gets pinched underneath in gym class?
Those were all, I loved those scooters. Those
Would
were
you do
great.
an adult version of that? Like if we all just had like a gym, would you guys play a scooter game right now?
The closest thing to that is the office chair games, which is a charity fundraiser they've done in Kansas City before that we participated in like a year ago. And basically you're in office chairs, right? But you do like you scoot around a gym and do different, challenges and stuff in an office chair. I would say that's the adult equivalent to the scooters.
Like corporate challenge stuff, I'd still probably play some kickball. There were 80 variations of kickball and dodgeball at school.
I'm still thinking about this project thing. There was one thing that we did that actually was really freaking awesome. In high school, we had, so each 9 weeks were divided up differently. The class was an hour and a half in high school, and it was half English, half history, in the same room in a big area. There was a project we did to the song We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel. Everybody in the class was assigned a topic from there. So I was assigned talking about Khrushchev and the space war, essentially. But
that's ironic considering the conversations we've had about space on this show with you.
Very true.
Drew covered the space race, and he's like, "Oh, this
and now
is a
him and his
scam."
wife said the moon is fake."
So my project was on the space race. But so your project, your entire grade for the 9 weeks was that project. You didn't have any tests, not anything. Everything was into that project. If you got an earlier version of it, let's say week 1 of the 9 weeks, I presented my project. I could chill the rest of the 9 weeks because the entire 9 weeks was people presenting these projects. So if you presented on day 3, you got to chill for the rest of the 8 weeks and not do a single thing for that class. It was great.
That doesn't sound that bad, honestly.
That's the random question of the day.
Yes, that's correct. Brought to you by KC Urology Care. But
I hope you sleep better tonight.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Normally, if I have a bad night of sleep, I'm so tired that the second night, it's not usually a multi-night.
Was it because of the
situation.
storms, or you just
I don't know, just couldn't sleep. You know, sometimes.
And you thought about school projects.
Honestly, that song popped in my head. I could probably do 2 more verses of it without even thinking about it. That song popped in my head about Fred the Turtle Goes to Maui. And I don't know why I could still remember and recite some of the lyrics from it, but I could.
Someone says, did you just say Drew thinks the moon is fake? Well, if you've listened to the show for a while,
I don't.
His wife has talked. We've had his wife on the show before to talk about it as well. Yes.
She has since converted to a moon believer, but the moon landing. The moon, it's the landing now.
Oh, the moon.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there that question the landing.
She's converted to the moon is real.
Okay, because that one was really, really wild at the time. We were trying to explain like what happened. What do you think that thing is up there?
Some cheese.
What do you think that whole thing is up there? It's just we got a projector somewhere that just projects it up there for all of us to see. That's all it is. All right, up next, let's get to the 1 o'clock hour and talk more about what Bobby Witt Jr. will not be doing next week and the best version of one particular Chiefs player in 2025.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Say hello to Wendy's new 2-for-4 Biggie Bundle. Choose from the JBC made with fresh, never frozen beef, crispy chicken sandwich, 6-piece nugs, or small soft drink. Any 2 for just $4. It's like the reunion special you've been waiting for, but the only drama is watching you try to pick just 2. For a deal as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Request 2 for $4 Biggie Bundles to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistent sin. All over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Is your old garage door a real clunker? Overhead Door Company of Kansas City is paying cash for your clunkers now. They'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards a new insulated door. $200 for the first garage door and $100 for each additional door. Cash in your old opener and entry door too. It's cash for clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. Schedule your free estimate at overheaddoorkc.com or call 816-221-0072.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture. Wow, look at you. I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing. Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, I showed them all her inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her.
Well, congrats, buddy. Ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free.
I went hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins.
Join the millions of people who are celebrating going hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. Footwear you just step into and they're on.
It's crazy how something as simple as a pair of shoes have made my life better.
After trying Skechers Slip-ins, I want all my shoes to have this technology.
See what everybody can't stop talking about. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If Old Spice Deep Sea Super Hydration Body Wash were music, what would it sound like? Start with the deep sounds of Old Spice's ocean waves and kelp. Layer on the smooth, renewing moisture. You wouldn't hear any parabens or phthalates because Old Spice Deep Sea hasn't got any. But you would hear that vitamin B3 for healthier looking skin. So while your regular body wash sounds like this, Old Spice sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
College days are back on the drive. Listen for K-State Day on Thursday, July 17th, starting at 2 o'clock on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
1 o'clock hour. It's Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp. Producer Drew Nixon. Video stream back up and running, I believe, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the shows. You can see what we're rocking today, which is more of the Whittizen's gear. Tomorrow, I feel like like you said you don't like the wig. I think you should give your wig to Drew.
Okay. He can wear the wig for now. I might need it back for Sunday, but
if you guys are saying it's itchy, I don't know.
Well, that might be because we're wearing it under a crown. Plus, you can wear there's like a mesh piece that might help with that.
Oh, okay.
That I have not used.
I don't know if I grabbed that mesh piece, by the way. I don't know if I have.
It was inside my bag.
Oh, I didn't. You took the bag. I didn't get a bag. I don't think.
You didn't get a bag?
I don't think so. Oh well, it's fine. It's all right. Oh, it'll be all right.
Oh, a cap. Nice.
You know, might help you out. Fine, I'll put my wig back on. You win.
You haven't had it on all show, man. All show. The wig's been off.
All right. Here we go. Let's get ourselves set up.
Put the thing back on. Sunday, we've got the look-alike contest. We're judging it. Gate B at Kauffman Stadium at 10:30. Got some cool stuff planned during that. We've got some swag now to give out, too. That'll happen on Sunday. Pens, stickers, maybe some other stuff as well.
Eye black that say Whittizen's on it.
A lot of people have liked the eye black. People saying they want it for their kids' baseball tournament this weekend.
This weekend?
Yeah.
There we go. You have to find me in the real world. I'll just carry some around at all time. So if you see me in public and you want some for your kid,
well, we have bumper stickers, Cody, so you can just put it all over your Volkswagen.
Just cover the whole back,
car,
and then you'll know that I'm the senior Whittizen.
Yeah, you'll know.
How many senior Whittizen bumper stickers do we have? So we can make it very clear that that's my ride.
I have one extra one, I think.
I think there's like 4 or 5 over here.
Okay.
I can make it very clear. You know, you and I, according to our buttons, say senior Whittisons, not just Whittisons, which we also want.
I can't get over the fact that the way that, like, Cody's, yours looks like it's got the wig has some volume to it. Gold's, it looks like if you were a PS2 character and you wanted to get a mullet, like that's the type of look that your character would have. It's like it's flat. It's like you almost lay. It's,
I've been
like
wearing
you went to
mine
sleep
for 4
in
hours every day.
I know.
Cody's been taking his off.
It's like you went to sleep in it.
You know?
It's like you were laying up against your pillow at night against it, and it just flattened it totally.
Maybe he brushed it out last night.
I don't know.
A little mannequin head.
I didn't brush
Took
it
a
out.
brush
Maybe I
to it.
need to. Maybe I need to do that. Yeah. Maybe I need to do something like that. No, I just set it on basically it sat on like the dresser, and I don't know where else to put it.
I just put it in this carrying bag, which I thought you also got, but apparently both of our wigs were in this.
Hang on, you wore it all the way home, and you.
Not
true. Oh no, hang on. I just wanted to know, like, if you wore it home and you walked in, was your dog like, who the hell is this?
No, one, way too hot outside to just wear this. Well, the minute I can take it off, I took it off.
Okay,
but the car would be on fire too. Could you imagine just driving down the street wearing it? Just roll the windows down, just look over to see if anybody, just nod my head with the glass. Yeah, what's up, bro?
And just pointing a button.
Just do that. Just do that.
That's all right. Point to
Desmond wore mine for the crown a little bit last night when I got home. He said, "I'm the king of this house now."
Oh,
and then tried to put some law down.
There we go.
He thought,
I'm surprised the crown is intact.
Yeah, he didn't wear it that long. I got to make sure that it maintains for the entire time I'm planning on being a
I got an update for both of you on something we've talked about a while back. The Caitlin Clark card.
Oh, okay.
The Caitlin Clark card, back at the end of April, if you've been listening to the show for a bit, you guys remember, pulled this Caitlin Clark 101 card, and it was going to go to PSA and get graded and then go to the auction site. And I think we're still hoping to have Ken Golden from Golden Auction on the show to talk about it, and also just like where the market is for Mahomes and Bobby and stuff like that. Maybe we'll have him on to talk about Bobby Witt.
Yeah.
Would be perfect. Anyway, finally this Friday, Cody.
This
Friday,
awesome.
It'll be in the auction until like August 9th or 8th.
Okay.
So it's basically a month-long auction beginning this Friday. It is finally there, and we'll make sure we put out the link and stuff on Friday. Friday at like 7 o'clock, it goes live.
This is crazy.
How often are you going to check it?
Oh, way too often. But as I told you guys, they like the way the auction works, like even on a prior Caitlin Clark card, not that mine's selling for this much, but one was a bid up to 10,000 with 2 hours to go, and it finished at 80. Now, mine is not doing that. My point is that bids come in very late, inside of like 2 hours.
So he's going to be punishing himself for a month.
For 3.5 weeks, it's going to be
$1,200. He's like,
it's going to feel like, for 3 weeks, it's going to feel like it's not going to sell for anything.
You should block that site from your computer until
I'm going to hit
out.
refresh on that page. Although I don't even have to hit refresh, but I'm going to be on that page way too often.
I will say,
we'll give weekly updates.
I don't know who has the kind of money to buy this stuff on Golden, but good for you.
They got some amazing
and
stuff.
And what are you doing? Like, this is just a
amazing
box,
stuff.
a sealed box that has 4 boxes in it. It's a case, right? It's a hobby case of 2018-19 Panini National Treasure. Very nice basketball.
That's nothing, Cody.
$27,000 just for that.
I know, but like
item-wise, 2 days left.
Item-wise, that's nothing. I mean,
I know. Here's a Superman costume for $100K. Here's a whip from Indiana Jones. It was screen used for $250K.
Mm-hmm. John Lennon, the John Lennon Beatles one, is that what you're talking about? $25,000, stage worn, custom made suit.
So it's 8 days left on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody
Keith Richards, personally owned, stage used, signed Fender Stratocaster, electric guitar, $50,000.
I don't have that kind of dough. I don't know what some of y'all do, but
different world, man. But these people are the kind of people that need to buy this Caitlin Clark card over the next month. Those people.
Yeah, you need some of these people. Can I get an email list? Please, sirs. You have lots of money.
So
want to buy a kit?
I'm just happy.
Maybe the guy who lost out on the $80,000 bid will take yours as the secondary prize.
Look, I don't know what to expect with it anymore. I've told you because of how long it's taken, and so I don't know. I would love to obviously get 10. I'm worried it won't get to 10 now. I don't know.
Find out. We'll give you a weekly. I think a weekly update is fair.
Yep.
We'll give you an update on Friday when it's live.
Mm-hmm.
See if we get our first bid.
Well, Friday night. We'll have to wait till Monday.
Oh, Friday night.
Yeah.
Monday. Yeah, Monday's on. Cody.
It might not. My guess is it won't have a single bid by the time we're on Monday's show.
Well, we'll
I bet you doesn't have a bid.
So I'm assuming it ends at the same time that it starts. So like it would end in the evening, or does it end on the show?
It unfortunately will not end on the show. There won't be like a no. We will not have that. I think the exact time.
Can we just go live on YouTube?
It goes. The auction starts Friday at 7. I don't know if that's Eastern or Central. It ends Saturday, August 9th at 9 o'clock. I think it's 8 o'clock.
PM?
Okay.
PM, yeah. Both are PM. Yeah, and I believe it's starting at 1,000 or 2,500.
Okay.
So
I hope you get your first bid on Friday night.
well, that'd be nice. Just at least lock in that.
Just lock in a certain percentage.
Look, it's not going to go. It's not going to have. I mean, it's not going to not sell. I just don't know the price. Like someone will take it for $1,000 in a heartbeat.
It's just a matter of how high up you go.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Bobby Witt Jr., not just the home run he hit last night, and the fact that, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. Do you guys realize how much better Bobby Witt Jr. is in his career in July versus any other month of his career?
He eats up, huh?
Yeah, not just a little bit. Jake Eisenberg joined us this Friday. Also sounds like he'd like to be a Whittizen.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Eisenberg had put out the stat yesterday. The month of July for Bobby Witt Jr. in his career, 75 games, hits .375 with a .404 on base, 113 hits, 18 homers, 19 stolen bases, and 62 ribbies. So far in July, in the 7 games this year, .429 batting average, .429, or .452, sorry, on base. He already has 2 homers, 3 stolen bases, 7 RBI, and 10 runs in the 7 games so far in July. It is the month of Bobby Witt Jr. But I don't know if it just seems like more people are turning it down because I keep seeing the names that aren't going to be in the home run derby. Or they have a harder time filling it? The first few names they pitched out there made it sound like, ooh, this was going to be a big one. And now we're down to the Buxton range of things. And Bobby Witt Jr., he didn't straight up say he didn't get invited, but at least said he wasn't going to participate in the home run derby. Feels like it's going to be a little bit chiller than the last couple of years from the star power department.
Yeah, I don't know what the ultimate field will look like. I actually think from young star, like to me, like you become a star all-star and become a star being on this stage. And like James Wood and Ronald Acuna and Cal Raleigh, all three are deserving. All three this year at least are big names. Acuna has already been a star. James Wood is a hell of a baseball player. Cal Raleigh's just having historically great first half of it.
Got a fun nickname. Everyone thinks
and Cal Raleigh
one of the best stories.
Cal Raleigh grew up 100 miles outside of Atlanta, so it's which is where the All-Star game is at.
That's why Byron Buxton is also in it. He grew up not far outside of Atlanta.
Bobby was in it last year, and he had the Texas ties. So they do that a lot, in fairness. I'll be curious to see who the other candidates are. I told you, I think Riley Green for Detroit. I know it's not a big name. He's on the best team in baseball, and he's got like the second most home runs in the AL. If he's an All-Star, and you said he was?
Who?
Riley Green?
Yes, he is.
Then he should be in the home run derby. I mean, what are they doing? What are we...
Maybe he doesn't want to do it. There are players that
don't want to
sometimes
scrub their swing or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much truth to that. Obviously, I think sometimes people cool off after the All-Star break. I very rarely think it's relating to the home run derby. I think Josh Hamilton ends up being kind of the key example of that. Remember, he was quite a bit worse after he got done with that absolute show at Yankee Stadium, but also like he was just never that level of player the rest of the way. So like it just kind of depends. I don't think the home run derby is what ended it outside of him. I do think that Bobby, because he's so, like, for instance, I think Bobby would be a big supporter of the Whittisons. But Bobby is a pretty humble guy. He likes to, he loves the things he loves, right? He likes,
he wants to prop up his teammates and stuff too.
Yeah. He doesn't want all the attention on him all the time. He wants to make sure that other people get the credit they deserve. I know that sounds silly as I'm wearing a crown with things that say Whittisons on it, with a button that says Senior Whitson. I said what he wants.
He likes the
not
idea.
What I have to do.
We created it. He likes the idea.
Yes,
he would never have obviously have started his own thing.
No.
That would never
He
have
likes
happened.
that we started it, I'm
That's
sure.
Right.
But
That's right.
when you look at what it is, it's like he does need more of that. But I also just think this is what could really help the offense the rest of the way. If July is Bobby Witt Jr.'s month, and Vinny has been hitting well pretty much since the first 30 days of the Major League Baseball season, it does feel like if you just get Salvi on board, you're right back to the offense you had last year, except you got a better guy in Maikel Garcia than what you had in Maikel last year. I would argue India is better than what you had leading off a good chunk of last year. I want to remind people that for portions of the playoff push, they had people off the street hitting cleanup for them. Like,
Gurriel and Tommy Pham and a couple other
Pham
vets.
had a nice game last night.
He did, yeah.
Kind of made me miss Tommy Pham.
I like Tommy Pham.
Is that wrong?
Yeah, I like Tommy Pham, yeah.
Well, he's a red ass, and I feel like this team could use one more red ass. I'd like them to trade for that particular quality.
But here's the thing, like you mentioned Bobby in July, and look, since middle of June, he's been hot. Salvi's had a nice start to July, as we said. Vinny's been hitting well since May. It's just, can they do this for more than just a 5 or 6 game run? And that's what they did last year. And that's going to be the key. If you think there's still a chance they flip this around.
I'm never going to rule it out entirely.
It would be that happening continually. Like, doesn't mean every single night they're scoring 9 runs, obviously, right?
And hitting 4 homers.
But can they, at least for this homestand, put together, at that point, it'll be 10-plus games of this offense. And then you can sit there before the All-Star break and say, okay, there's at least a sign of something. It's fun, on the bat. The bad will be the offense is going to heat up right before the All-Star break, and then you're like, well, now I don't want the damn break. I don't want the damn break because the offense finally is heating up.
I do always fear that a little bit. I don't think that's unfair to be like, oh, sure hope that if they get white hot, but if they win all 5 games, I guess I'll just take the risk. It is what it is. That stat Andy Rodgers put out last night was one of the most crushing ones. It tells you where the offense has been this year. Last night, Vinny and Bobby Witt Jr. hit a home run in the game together. That is the first time two Royals have hit a home run together at Kauffman. Just 2 home runs at Kauffman Stadium in the same game since August of last year. They had not had just 2 players hit a home run in a game at Kauffman Stadium at all this season, or in October, or in September, or for part of August last year. And so, that is whew, we're going to need more of that. That goes back to, when they start targeting players, if they do end up buying, and let's say they buy for a player that has multiple years of control, man, you gotta. I know that look, Kags should ideally be a part of that at some point. He's obviously off to a slow start in his major league career. You and I said we're both not selling stock on it yet, but also understand that if he keeps hitting like this, at some point, the Royals are going to seriously consider sending him down. You gotta look. You need power. You just need more power. And Bobby in July will provide some of that. Salvi hit a tank yesterday, and Vinny's having a good home run year, but you just need more. You don't have anybody on the team doing what Cal Raleigh's doing, hitting, what has he got, 31, 2?
35 homers.
35.
And here's what's I'll give him a ton of credit for this, too. Salvador Perez, was it 2 years now? 2 years ago? He had 48 home runs. I don't know the exact number, but he was playing some DH in first base that year, correct?
A little. He played quite a bit.
How many games? I'm just curious. My point being, right now, Cal Raleigh's playing, every game he plays, he's playing catcher. He's younger, I understand, but the point being is he's hitting 35 homers and he's playing catching every single day that he's on the field. That's really, that's really, really impressive. Now, will Cal Raleigh fall off in the second half? That's what a lot of people think is going to happen, but I don't know. He's having a special year.
Look, history would tell you that he's probably not going to maintain that pace.
Right now he's pacing for more than Aaron Judge had 2 years ago. So
you don't think he's going to finish with that?
I don't think he's going to set a major league record of home runs. No, I don't.
It was impressive enough when Salvador Perez as a catcher led the big leagues in home runs. That in its own right feels like a standalone. They've done a decent job against some of the boppers, other than not so much against in the last few. Who was the guy who hit every time he stepped to the plate, he kept hitting a homer.
For Texas?
Yeah.
Oh, for Rosarena.
Oh, Rosarena.
Hey, Rosarena.
Every time a Rosarena stepped to the dish, it was just an absolute nightmare. Now I'm trying to look it up. Salvador Perez, he caught 122 games that year. He DH'd 40 and pinch hit 1.
Okay.
So he caught 3/4 of the game, which is still impressive, but he did DH for 40 of those games. So he got a little bit of
that's what I was wondering. That's what makes what Cal Raleigh's doing really, really even more impressive.
I'm surprised it took this long from the 8-1-6. Immediately, anytime somebody has a big power, it's always steroids?
Yeah.
Is it steroids?
They test them.
I think it's too easy to get caught now.
They test them, so. Yeah.
And what is his career high up until this year?
He's 28 years old for reference. Let's see. He hit last year. He hit 34.
So good power hitter.
Yeah.
He's got more than he hit all of last year already. He's having a really special year.
He hits 25 normally. He hit 48 1 year.
I'll say this though.
Yeah, the fact that he's hit 34 and 40, I think that's.
Cal Raleigh last year was a 4.7 WAR player. He's a 4.6 at this point, and he had 34 homers, hit 220 last year with a 312 on base. This year, halfway through, 35 homers, 268 with a 381 on base. So, for a catcher.
Yeah. Slightly different season for Cal Raleigh.
I would say so. It's why he's an all-star. It's why he's in the home run derby.
But he's a very good player up to this point. He's just having a career year, which...
Caleb Raleigh, actually, for Raleigh.
Caleb, huh? That feels like of a generation, too. It feels like you got to kind of be born in the 90s or early 2000s to be named Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's an older school
He'll be one of the favorites to win the Derby. I don't know if he's going to. I think a dark horse one will be James Wood because the name is not known as much. But James Wood will probably be a guy I bet on for the Derby next week in Atlanta. Other than Acuna will be one of the favorites. It's his park.
Yeah, and he has prestigious power.
Yeah.
So certainly wouldn't be out of the question. I did see an anniversary today, which stood out to me a little bit. Gold.
Happy anniversary to who?
Not my anniversary was on the 5th. We went out to dinner on.
Oh, just wait.
Like 3 days ago.
What year? How many years?
12.
Okay.
So
Nice.
not
Congrats. There you go.
like not 10, 15, 20, not the round ones,
Yeah.
right? Where they
Milestone
sound
ones or
a little, but
whatever.
not a milestone one, but certainly 12th went out to dinner. It was nice. I don't know, I don't know if I'm supposed to like just mention random restaurants that don't advertise, but perfectly
What kind of food?
Nice meal. I like American style food.
Steakhouse?
It wasn't a steakhouse.
okay.
It was just like I don't know, like probably what they would call like upscale American. It was not like super fancy, like middle. I don't know. I had crab cakes for an appetizer, and I had a pork belly dish.
Okay.
For the main.
What was the gift?
Curious.
People are asking.
What was the gift? Yeah, of course they're going to ask that. A little free library.
Oh, okay.
Wife has really wanted one of those.
So people don't know. Cody's wife is a librarian. Makes sense. Yes.
We have a lot of books. So, we're able to put those.
Someone said you went to Waffle House. No, I don't think they had pork belly.
No, it was not.
Or crab cakes at Waffle House.
No, it was a place. It doesn't really matter. It was a place called Prima. It was a nice dinner. But not that anniversary. The anniversary, it's 15 years since this. Now that we've had 15 years to sit on that, it still seems, this is one of those things that I thought would like maybe age better. It still seems so absurd that he felt the need to like do this thing with Gray where he sits there and he's like, I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Like it all feels so performative. Like I very rarely have seen an athlete do to announce their departure to another city, right?
Yeah, the
It seems
decision.
so
Everybody
crazy, even 15 years ago.
Sure. I mean, everybody it was. I mean, at the time though, like, weren't you locked in when you heard that?
I watched the decision.
When you heard that Jim Gray and LeBron were about to do this thing, and like you're like, oh, this show is gonna be on ESPN, it's gonna be live, and all this. Yeah, I made sure we were all watching live. I'm sure most of us at the time. Obviously, it turned out to be a terrible decision. Not they went to Miami, but like the decision to do the show, to do that interview, and make it such a big deal like that. I'm sure. I think, haven't he publicly said he regrets doing that or no? I can't remember if he's.
I think he said that like maybe it was a little much. Like I don't think he's ever gone out and just been like, I sure wish I didn't do that. But I do think that there was part of him that was
the
like,
decision.
Yeah, like I'm sure there's part of him, Gold, that's like, I probably didn't need to play it up that big. Because I just want to think about any athlete you don't like. Think about if Tom Brady had done it that way. Think about if Patrick Mahomes called a press conference to state what he was getting ready to do as far as the decision goes. It was also the beginning of like a new era of the NBA, because up to that point, because the previous super teams in the NBA were all built because nobody left in free agency, essentially. You could just keep all your players forever and pay them whatever you wanted. That did kind of, I always look at that as the kickoff of the era of the super teams. It was,
Of course it was.
before Boston and everything else, and like the way teams do it now.
3 in Miami, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the kickoff of the super team. So it fundamentally changed basketball too. So like it always seems like 15th anniversary of like
Can you believe that was
the
15,
NBA
can you believe that's
changing.
15 years ago, man?
I can't believe he's still playing the way he is at 40.
Well,
that's what's maybe more
just,
surprising than
a
that.
testament to him that he's putting up ridiculous numbers in these 40s something. So
How does he keep doing it?
15 years ago.
I've
man.
never seen a player
Well,
play this
because-
well into this age. It's crazy.
I mean, the reason why we talk
crazy.
the reason
basketball.
why the reason why we have the comps, in the conversations about him and Jordan, because he is, truly superhuman type of athlete. And nowadays, and he's got the financial means to do it, he spends millions of dollars a year on keeping his body right, so he can still perform at this level and do things that you shouldn't be able to do when you're in your 40s at that level, against that competition. That's what's amazing about it.
Yeah, there's just no reason for him to be as good as he is at the age in which he is. But it was just like, it was like so many things all rolled into one. He was the hometown kid, drafted by the hometown team, had never won the He'd come up so short for a city that was desperate for a championship. He then ditches him for a super team in Miami. He changed the way basketball teams are built roster-wise. Then it just started kind of like a new era in the NBA. So 15 years kind of felt significant, I guess. We don't do a lot of like, let's look back, but you and I are of an age that we remember that. LeBron and I think graduated high school at the same time. So that just felt like one of those athletes that you remember the most early on. that wasn't a member of a team that you cheered for, I guess.
Who seems older, Drew? LeBron or Cody?
Yeah. I think that question answers itself.
Yeah. You think? Is there anything you think I could beat LeBron at? Is there a physical activity?
No.
Darts, ping pong.
Wow, his golf swing didn't look great.
I was going to say his golf swing. You might have a chance, Cody.
But no, just his strength though, like his ability to overcome like some of the technique problems.
His natural athleticism.
Yeah.
My question is, is there even a single game of like physical skill, like shuffleboard? Is there anything I could beat LeBron James at?
Probably not. He's also I
don't think so either.
I can't think shuffleboard. Okay.
But I'm not an expert shuffleboard player. It's got to be a game I'm also skilled at.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm better at ping pong than I am shuffleboard, but I imagine he's
probably great at ping pong.
Yeah, he'd probably kill me.
I don't know what you could think you would beat him at video games like Madden, college football? Is Drew by the way, I'm shocked Drew is here today. I'm shocked Drew is here today because College Football 26 comes out on Thursday, but if you have like the EA Play, you can download the 10-hour free trial. I haven't bought the game. You've bought the game, but this is what's weird. Drew's bought the game. He's not playing it, can't play it. I am not buying the game, and I've been playing it.
What's EA Play?
already.
Just like you can check out as many. It's like a checkout system. You can check out as many as you want, or what? Huh? The EA Play thing.
Certain games. So yeah, and you get 10 hours with it.
But that's it, just 10 hours?
Yeah, 10 hours of gameplay. So like I played like for 40 minutes last night just because I wanted to check out the game. And it's very similar to last year. I enjoyed it. Okay. Played one game online. Bad memories from our college football tournament we did at the station. I lost to Texas again with 2 seconds to go last night, just like in the tournament. Bad memories.
What's going on with you? Why do you keep losing to Texas in horrifying fashion?
Texas is number one on the game, or number one team in the country in the game. So
the game's out for one day, and some guy's already choosing to be Texas in an online game?
Online, everybody's going to choose the top teams. I was Florida. I was Drew's DJ Lagway guy. It was too slow. Too slow. I can't play with him. He's too slow, Drew. Can't deal with it.
Got to speed things up. I can't believe you're ahead of Drew in the game. I still only have played it the one time we played it in the tournament here.
It's fun. I'll play it a little bit tonight, I'm sure. Also want to watch, we'll talk about on the other side, the new Netflix quarterback show came out today. So we'll gauge our interest in that. We'll do a little what's trending as well, coming up here on Cody and Gold.
Cody. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965. College days are coming back to the Drive. Tuesday, July 15th is all about the Jayhawks. Wednesday, July 16th is all about the Tigers. And Thursday, July 17th is all about the Wildcats. Hear from the athletic directors, coaches, players, and the people who cover your favorite school. CDOT has already promised to be fair, objective, unbiased, and no sarcasm whatsoever. College days are back. Tuesday, July 15th through Thursday, July 17th on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Honey, in case you can't tell from the recliner, summer is here, and our house desperately needs the experts at Powell Exteriors KC for siding, windows, entry doors, beautiful decks, patio covers, roofs, and more. Get ready for the heat at powellkc.com.
Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? Call Jay Southland Tow Service, 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments. They can do it all. Be in the know and call Jay's Southland Tow.
Bank of America is a nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in Kansas City. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling grandma for her recipe, no-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m., big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas, the ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2025 with select plans. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 7/20/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Lowe's knows July 4th savings are worth celebrating. Right now, get up to 40% off select major appliances and get an additional 10% off 2 or more select major appliances. Plus, get 3 Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. These deals are coming in hot. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
DQ presents How to Make Your Summer Take Flight. Just head into DQ for a new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat. Treat your inner hero to an epic mix of sugar cookie dough, sprinkles, and cake batter flavor. Blend it all with legendary DQ soft serve, and it's enough to tempt Superman himself. Fly into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat before it's gone. And don't miss Superman, only in theaters July 11th. DQ, happy tastes good. Only at participating locations.
Brought to you by Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit ClimateControlKC.com. Climate Control has been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle the scorching hot summer. Schedule your AC system tune-up for just $59. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. What's trending?
What's Trending is presented by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any other university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu. The Royals took game 1 last night against the Pirates. Noah Cameron pitched 7 innings for the first time in his career. Game 2 tonight at the K. 6:40 first pitch. Seth Lugo on the bump. Vern's on deck show is at 5:30 here on 96.5 The Fan.
Next up on What's Trending, Mark Donovan says that April is the more likely ballot initiative if the Chiefs continue with a plan to renovate Arrowhead Stadium. They have not given a new updated timeline of when they will be making those kinds of decisions. Obviously, yesterday, Kansas made it official with extending the Star Bonds for a full year after this, although they've set a deadline of December 31st for the teams to make their decisions on which way they're heading in the stadium game. So we'll see which way this goes, at least on that end. I feel like the Royals have still got to be the team to make the decision soon. I think this team's got to stop dragging their feet and just make some decisions. But also I understand that, like if Mayor Q is saying there's money that we can give you but hasn't specified how they're going to give it to you, can't exactly make a call on that,
Next up on What's Trending, little conference realignment news. Grand Canyon has said they will now actually join the Mountain West this fall instead of waiting until 2026. Now, this is not for football. They don't have a football program. All sports other than football, kind of like, as Drew said, Gonzaga. But the Mountain West gets another basketball school, which means for this particular season, while Boise State and the Fresno States of the world haven't left yet, that's a really, really strong Mountain West basketball conference. But just some small conference realignment news here on What's Trending.
See if Grand Canyon can hang, obviously, in that conference. They've done perfectly fine.
I think they fit in there. I actually think they fit in there perfectly.
They've done a really nice job. They're a for-profit university. As a result of that, they got good at basketball in a hurry.
They have a good home field or home
they
court.
Have Bryce Drew as their head coach.
They were in a when they first got into the league, they were in the WAC with UMKC before they had gone back to the Summit League. And I was just immediately annoyed that Thunder Dan Marley and Grand Canyon immediately mattered.
Yeah, he was their first head coach.
And I was just like, man, are you kidding me? All this time watching UMKC trying to get their basketball program up, and Grand Canyon mattered immediately. It was frustrating. Lastly on What's Trending, don't forget, this Sunday, we are kicking off our very first Whittizen event. If this is your first time hearing about it, we've talked about it on the show, so I doubt it is. We have formed a new Bobby Witt Jr. fan group. It's officially sanctioned now by Major League Baseball and by the Royals and by Bobby, I believe. Well, at the very least, he likes the idea. The Whittizens were founded on Monday. This Sunday, we'll have our first kickoff event. You'll have a chance to enter a Bobby Witt Jr. look-alike contest. Festivities start at 10:30 a.m. with free Bobby Witt Jr. haircuts. We also have 100 wigs because we can spend our money on whatever we want. We're adults. And we have some swag to give away for the thing. I'm showing gold on the camera. Some of the buttons that say Whittizen, the official stickers that say Whittizen, the eye black that you can put on that says Whittizen. We'll have some of that stuff to give away on Sunday as well. All start at 10:30. Look like contest will probably be a little after that. We'll see you out there. Gate B. B as in Bobby.
That's right. Sunday morning out at Kauffman Stadium. That is What's Trending here on Cody and Gold. Yeah, people thought Drew got upset that we brought up the video game. Just took us off the air, just completely torched the board. I said, hey, Drew, I played more college football video game than you have, and I haven't even bought the game.
I was getting very short answers because I knew that. Because it doesn't help that you guys don't have the headphones in. Otherwise, I would have told you, hey,
we can hear you.
Well, no. I'm saying I was going to talk. I was going to talk to you direct, in your ear.
But we can hear. I can hear it. If you said it, I'd probably hear it.
I was going to say, hey, just so you know, we're going to test something. We need to reset something when we go to break, and that's why I was short answer.
Yeah, man. I will say this: I played the college football video game.
Yes.
For one game or so. I mentioned the Texas thing, but I will say, I think the overall presentation, the graphics and all that stuff look better. Not graphics from gameplay, but graphics as in the score bug and stuff looks better.
Yeah.
I think the gameplay is pretty smooth. Other than that, it's very similar. I haven't gone through Dynasty and some of the tweaks or anything there. And I don't know if I'm going to buy the game or not, but I enjoy playing for a little bit. Like I can't sit there and play for 3 or 4 hours. Like I played for 45 minutes and I got my fix.
I'm very excited to try it out because somebody and I have been going back on the text line. They said because Road to Glory, you can do the high school stuff now. It's a little bit different.
Oh, they're back to the high school.
Back to the high school. The positions are still the same, but it gives you an incentive to get Madden as well because you can take your player from there to Madden if you want to.
I used to love doing
a long
that.
time ago.
Yeah. Dynasty, I'm in on the Dynasty. I'll do a little Dynasty. I'll start that one eventually. I got to get the. I haven't played in a while. I'm not like right now. I felt like I was terrible last night, like playing. That was awful.
Somebody, this person who I'm going back and forth with said they chose KU to be in their top 3 just so they could throw their hat because you can fake the hats when you do commitments. All right,
you can fake the hat throw. That's a level of hate that I appreciate. Fandom should have hate.
Curious, K-State or MU fan, the person who texted in there. Yeah, that's interesting.
K-State's good on the game, rating-wise and everything. Obviously, Avery Johnson presents something for him.
I did look, new FBS member, Missouri State. Based on the
65 rating.
Based on the ratings that I saw,
that's like 65.
So is that not where you're going to send your kid to college?
Oh, in the road,
Drew Nixon's going to go?
Drew's going to build up.
In the Road to Glory, no, but I think a dynasty doing Missouri State, I think would be a lot of fun.
Do you get to choose the team in the Road to Glory?
I know where you can get an NIL deal in that game, too. But anyway, what else you got?
No, I was going to say, do you get to choose your team in the Road to Glory? Because
technically, yes, but you play in high school, and then based on how you play in high school, Cody, you get offered by certain schools, and then you can pick your 3, and then so you can still.
So you can have Alabama and then Missouri State in your top 3.
Technically, I guess so. Yeah.
Choose Missouri State. Buck the trend,
That would be a level of dedication. No, they're in real life, guys. There was a guy that just recently chose Sacramento State over Ole Miss, LSU, and USC, I believe. Wide receiver, 4-star wide receiver. Went to Sac State.
Did they give him?
Yeah, what hell?
I don't know, but Sacramento State is getting a lot of buzz, pun intended, because they're the Hornets.
They're not FBS, right?
Not yet.
And they don't have a conference.
Correct. And FCS, like they're still there. Like they'll be able to play in the playoff and everything in FCS. But it's similar to Travis Hunter. Of course, it was different with Deion, but it's like Travis Hunter going to Jackson State instead of Florida State.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll play a little bit. If you get it downloaded, I'll play. I'll get a game in.
I will go and see if I can. If I got the EA play, it's another 2 days for me to wait. I'm assuming you're not going to do your 10 hours by the time Thursday hits.
No.
Okay.
No.
So I'm not going to.
Tonight?
Yeah.
He's got a date from whoever last night.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
No, I don't have a big plan. I'm going to watch the Royals game. What I want to
watch the Royals game.
You want to watch tonight? I want to start watching quarterback. The Netflix series is back today.
But no Mahomes.
No Mahomes. His production company is still behind it, though. But it's got
really his production
your
company?
guy, Joe Burrow.
My guy.
Yeah, so you have to watch it.
Kirk Cousins is in it.
I've already seen a couple of clips.
I saw the clip of Kirk Cousins getting a lifetime pass from Great Clips.
So it's Burrow, it's Cousins, and who's the third?
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff. So I'll watch it. Look, I know Mahomes not being in it doesn't mean it'll ever be as good to us as it was 2 years ago. But the fact they're back to quarterbacks will make it way more interesting for me. I want to watch. I definitely want to watch. I want to learn more about your guy Joe Burrow a little bit as well. And Kirk Cousins, it's just gonna be interesting when he gets benched. Just how does that handle? Knowing that he's still the backup and on the Falcons right this second.
Can we have a revisit of the conversation about whether or not he comes off as arrogant if we all watch the show?
Cousins?
Remember No, Joe Burrow. Remember the whole thing we got into the show?
Oh, I think Joe Burrow is arrogant.
We said that. Drew adamantly denied that. There was a whole thing on the show for a while. I'm saying let's reevaluate post-watching quarterback.
I did see, so one of the clips that I think everybody was interested in, at least Bengals fans, is there was a moment during the season where it looked like him and Zach Taylor were going at it. Like they were yelling at each other. That audio is now in the show, and it's more of Joe Burrow not being happy because even though they won the game, it was just nasty, terrible, offsides everywhere, false start penalties. He was not very happy.
I just want the episode where he buys a Batmobile and his house gets broken into.
Yeah, those are the two most
apparently, that
interesting.
also has very much changed things regarding the Batmobile. I don't know if he's not. I don't know what he's doing with it anymore. Apparently, that's
Wait, he's not buying anymore.
I thought he already bought it.
Oh, I think he bought it, but I don't know how it. I think I saw something that it changes things. There was also.
Hold on. We can't. I mean, it changes things.
Oh no,
I don't know.
There's a story that says Joe Burrow canceled his purchase of the Batmobile because of the home burglaries.
Yeah, it changed.
Joe Burrow's not getting the Batmobile anymore.
It made him think twice about a high-profile splurge. Okay.
Probably a smart decision on his part, just because of that.
It's terrible.
You're already famous, dude.
It's terrible that his house got broken into. Like that, nobody should feel that violated, and it's terrible, right? Like somebody breaks your house. Yeah. I mean that's an awful thing.
While
for
somebody was there too, while his house sitter was there.
It's an awful thing for anybody to go through. So I sympathize with him on that. I will say though, this also seems like I've thought about it for a couple more months, and I realized how dumb it was to buy a Batmobile.
No, I think I don't know. Him showing up.
Buyer's remorse there.
No, him showing up would be to like the whiteout game would have been sick in the Batmobile. There was a video too I saw. I don't think it's in the actual show, but Trey Wingo had something to say about him. One of the notes that Trey Wingo said, one of the notes, he was on a podcast, I guess. One of the notes that they got about Joe Burrow was during the draft process was he was at an AAU game. He's 9 years old, and they were down 8 points with 30 seconds left. He goes to the free throw line a few times. They come back and they win the game. He scores the last nine
Yeah,
points.
they've talked about this on a broadcast before.
And I guess Trey Wingo said he found out his coach at the time was a professor at Ohio University, and went up to his parents after the game and said, I don't know if you know this, but Joe has the same level of cool, calm, and collected as police officers, firefighters, and
I remember this story.
And like top tier criminals. And he was like, it's a good thing he did this thing. He's doing his stuff for good, because otherwise he'd be like the next Dexter. Because
he's making it seem like he's freaking Superman, and he could have been a Batman. He could have been the Joker or something.
Hey,
I mean,
this goes back to like 2 years ago when Mahomes had the
QB1 baby
thing on, and it was just like his heart rate lowered when the 2-minute drill.
Yeah. Very
I think
similar.
great athletes are very good at keeping
poised. They're
themselves
composed.
They have
calm.
that it factor.
Versus, we see what it looks like when Sam Darnold gets sped up. Looks bad. He had a
lot
great
of
year,
guys.
but we saw what happened when he got rattled a bit.
Started seeing ghosts again.
That's right.
God, that cost him 50, 70, 80 million. How much money did that cost him? At least $50 million.
The final two games cost him probably $50 million.
How much did he get paid? What was it again? 3 years, 100 or something like that?
Yeah, but you can get out after one, pretty much.
Sam Darnold signed a signing bonus of $32 million, so he's getting that at least.
Good for him.
Yeah. 3-year, $100 million, but as Cody said, after 2020, the out is not till 2027.
Okay,
$19 million dead cap. So he's getting his money these next 2 years, no matter what. He's getting $32 million signing bonus, 37 guaranteed. He's getting $37 million at least.
At least Sam Darnold has that. At least he didn't totally blow it where he's just a backup again.
Yeah.
At least he was.
To his credit, yeah, he found a way to now. He now last year guaranteed that like he's going to be in the league for a long time now. He's going to be in the league for a very long time.
Yeah,
now.
he's not Sam Bradford.
No. Although Bradford was back before they switched the slot money in the draft, so that dude made a ridiculous amount of money before.
The NFL, every average quarterback in the NFL got drafted by the wrong team, is a perfectly average quarterback now. Baker, Darnold, Geno Smith, all those guys who end up playing into their mid-30s, and at one point you'd have thought they might have run themselves out of the league, essentially. That became like a big storyline last year and over the last 2 years, that some guys have kind of resurrected their careers a little bit.
All those guys that got drafted. So Geno got drafted by the Jets. Sam Darnold by the Jets. Who else in that list did you mention? Baker was
Baker.
He
was a Brown.
You see this
Browns,
top text,
right?
Drew?
Huh?
From the 913, from the 816, I watched the first episode of the new quarterback show today. And my impression of Burrow is that he'll never get married because no woman will take care of him like he takes care of himself. Okay.
Is that a good thing? I think
the way he
it
takes
is.
care of his body. I'm sure there's other elite athletes who do that.
You mean or just that he expects? Like what? What's the?
I don't know. I have to watch the
doesn't-
episode. I
He
guess.
doesn't need anybody there to support him. Essentially, is that the way that?
The way he take you mean like he can do his own thing?
I think a ton of athletes are that way. I think Kevin Durant is that way.
Or,
Okay, but
what
him winning a championship doesn't matter about.
No, I didn't say that.
We're just talking about his love life.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not saying that he has to get married to win a title.
Okay.
Oh my God, that was who had that horrible take?
Somebody did make a big deal about
Was
that.
it actually a take?
What's that?
There was a real take about how the NBA. It was about the NBA, and it was that the mistake the NBA was. Hold on, Drew. It was about the mistake the NBA was currently making is that the best NBA superstars were family men who had wives and kids. And today's NBA, the best NBA players right now aren't that. So they can't
to be the face of the league.
To be the face
Kendrick
of the league.
Perkins said to be the face of the NBA, not to be a superstar. But
No, it was Kendrick.
Oh man.
I don't even remember which player it was now. Do you
These
remember?
people, y'all are hilarious.
Someone said you guys will like watching episode 2. You get to watch the Bengals drop to 0-3 in September.
That's
Close
every
your
year.
eyes, Drew.
I don't need to watch a reality TV show for that.
Yeah,
That's
I
where they
saw
are
it
at the end
happen.
of September every year.
All right.
They
All right.
are like that every year.
But this
It's one of
year's
their
going to be
biggest flaws.
different. This year is different.
I think if it's not Zach Taylor's
getting
getting
better
fired.
be. It
Someone
better-
said they meant by the text, meaning Burrow. No woman will love Burrow the way he loves himself.
Oh, too conceited.
That goes back to the arrogance thing. We'll leave it at that. We all need to watch this show and we can report back
We can at
over
least
the
watch
next
an
week.
episode tonight.
Maybe I'll watch an
Nice.
episode tonight. Yeah.
Y'all are just.
Drew's gonna need some alone time watching
No, I'm not-
quarterbacks. I think.
Relax.
Leave him
He's gonna
alone.
light a candle.
Yeah,
Relax.
a candle.
Close the blinds,
dim lighting
please.
and everything.
Relax.
Yeah.
You
Please
told us
relax.
before you got into work that you had a puddle in your house. Is your
Oh,
house
yeah.
good?
Yeah, I think we're good now.
Well, the good news is it's your apartment, right? So even if something's wrong, it's not your problem.
Correct. Yeah, we set the dishwasher to go like right before going to bed. Woke up. I didn't go into the kitchen at all. Got all my stuff ready to go. About to walk out the door. Oh crap! There's a puddle.
Huge puddle of water.
Yeah, and it was noticeably like it came from the dishwasher. It was evident as much. So hopefully it was just something. The seal wasn't tight enough, or whatever the case is. But somebody came by and looked at it, and I think it's all good now. So I was a little bit late to work today trying to clean it up.
Man,
you
if
know?
this is your old apartment complex, it'd been another 2 weeks before they looked at it.
Correct. Which is why I'm not there anymore.
Yeah, that did not work out.
I'm very happy with the place I'm at.
Those.
You've lived in the same apartment the entire time we've
Since I
done
moved
this
back.
show.
Yeah.
You were with your parents for a little bit while you're waiting out your
During
lease in
COVID,
Houston.
yeah.
You're going on year 5 now, right? 5?
That's a impressive run in the same apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.5. Yeah, I guess 5. Yeah. Yeah, when I first moved here, I had my lease in Houston still, and then COVID hit. So yeah, I didn't get my apartment right when I moved back in 2020. But yeah, I've been in the same spot. It works, man. You guys have been there before. I like it. It's not bad.
Sticking around?
Pool's been open,
You can sign
working
another
and
lease?
stuff. So
You're back?
I'm back. Yeah. So it's been good, man.
Okay.
It's been a good spot.
I've
I've been looking though at other spots, but we're good for now.
Did you see? I don't know if this actually is a true comment, but Jamar Chase, like his NFL rumors posted it. Which again, who knows?
Who knows if that's accurate?
But Jamar Chase apparently quote unquote said that Patrick Mahomes without Travis Kelce is closer to Kirk Cousins. Then again, hang on a second. I don't know if he actually said that, but somebody on the text line, it made me think of it. Said
That is high compliment of Travis Kelce, I'll say.
So somebody on the text line said Jamar Chase is more unlikable than Joe Burrow, and I said I think I actually understand that. I get why you would feel the most insufferable human being that is on the Bengals is Jamar Chase, maybe even in the NFL. I can understand why you would say that as a Chiefs fan.
We'll watch tonight, get a sense of where we're at, because we'll get to watch the Chiefs. The only problem with the Chiefs documentary, the one where they follow the team this entire year, is Gold, is it's going to be out in the middle of the Chiefs season. So there's still like a limitation, I guess, a little bit of how much we can pay attention to that and get a sense of where they are while we're actively watching the Chiefs game. 2 weeks from today, Alex and I will be at our first training camp show.
That's true.
So, I mean, it's not.
That is
football is
true.
around the corner if I'm almost up in St. Joe.
Just finished a dynasty fantasy football draft. We're trying to figure out dates for other leagues. There's all kinds. It's that time of the year. We're getting close.
Yeah, it's fun.
Is it? Does this person not like me?
Well, the person,
Which
which
one?
person? which one? The one who called you POS probably doesn't like you.
Is that directed to me? And then somebody said,
No.
Was that directed at me?
No, it's not directed at either. They're talking about somebody that apparently knows fitness for a star quarterback better than anybody else.
That comment was. I found out that actually was said too. That's crazy.
We're talking about workout regimens.
Yes.
Are you personally
Don't
worried
you know
about
you have
Patrick
to
Mahomes' physique?
have to have a 6-pack in order to win Super Bowls.
So if I don't look
you
like
know?
DK Metcalf, you just can't.
That's right.
Correct.
Can't
Correct.
win.
Correct.
Can't win if you don't have a 6-pack. You cannot win championships.
What's Joe Burrow look like with no shirt?
I guarantee
True?
you, it's. I don't think it's Superman. I don't think so.
Josh Allen isn't. Josh Allen doesn't have like a 12-pack.
Maybe that's why he hasn't won in playoffs against
what a crazy
good quarterbacks.
take. What a crazy take. Seeking attention. My gosh.
I thought that person was going after Drew. I was like,
No, they were referencing. They sent a link to a quote.
Gotcha.
And it was that quote.
Dang, man, that's.
I thought that they were talking about something else. Scale of 1 to 10. How worried are you about Patrick Mahomes being in shape
0
for training camp?
0. 0.
0's your number. I'm also at a 0. I know that's crazy, but I also
How worried about your fitness and physique heading into camp in our shows this
you should be much more